And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Pro Baseball Experience, Season 26, Week 1, Day 2, Baseball Action. Welcome aboard. I'm your host, Legally Blind Gamer. And before I introduce our co-host here, I'd like to just say that I was mistaken on the spring training stream. I thought that my co-hosts and my time together was in our 6th season, but after looking it up, we started in Season 20 together. So this is now our 7th season, and I'd like to bring on PBE, Commissioner, co-host, and good friend, Hummus God. 7 seasons together. How's it going, Hummus God?
It's going really well. Thank you for having me on this long. I think we've become, a staple in this league, and just looking forward to more memories to be made. 7 seasons done, 7 more to go. So, let's do it. Everybody's here. Nate, what's up? You said you've been here all day. We all know that you're capping. Shout out to Marks, Musha, Unconfident, Monster Man Gold was actually first. Shout out to you. Laser's here. I know he asked me if I was streaming tonight. Yeah, check out the badges in the Twitch chat. So if you've been here for a while, you get an extra badge now. You got the month of subscribers. LBG, you had what was it, 17 months?
Yeah, 17. I'm
Yeah.
going on 18.
Yeah. What do I got? I got the 15 months, so a couple months behind you. But yeah, looking forward to tonight. Thank you all for joining.
Absolutely. And brand new season. We just had opening day last night. A bunch of surprises. Beauregard had an amazing stream last night. Was looking at Gustavo Beauregard's stats, and wow, they were on the leaderboard on almost every meaningful category. That'll probably change tonight as we get settled in. The games start evening out, and a lot of these surprise performances start becoming more mainstream. So we're going to go ahead and get started tonight with our very first matchup, and that is going to be an actual minor league game here, and it will be the Brew City Bears versus Anchorage Wheelers. So, minor league action to get us started, and while we're doing that, we'll go ahead and have Hummus. Actually, I think Nate mentioned something about wanting to do the predictions tonight. I'm not sure if you talked to him about that specifically, but either or, whoever wants to do prediction. What's that? Oh, you're broke?
Yeah, last night I think I went 50K on a over-under bet for hits, and I don't know why I went under. It was, I think, Voyagers versus Maui. And I think the total hits was like in the 30s, and
wow.
the line was set at 19.5. So,
ouch!
I'm very broke.
Wow.
To put it very, very broke. So yeah, I'm down to run predictions, Nate. We can go back and forth.
All right.
Just let me know.
Cool. All right. Well, while whoever one of those two gets our predictions going, I'm going to go ahead and get our information from our wonderful stats team here and read over the info for this game. Before I do that, though, let's just pull up the matchups here for people to take a look while we're doing that. And what the heck?
What happened?
My stream on Twitch still shows the title screen and not the. No,
I'm seeing your stream. I see the matches.
Okay. All right. Let me refresh here and try again. That was weird.
I see the matchup.
Oh, okay, that was weird. It just wasn't showing. I'm refreshing Twitch now. There we go. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started while those predictions are going. Reading our information for our first matchup tonight, and it is the Bears versus the Wheelers. Stevie Steve, Paris Riley, Scruff McGruff of the Bears have yet to be held hitless this season. Last season, the Bears finished last in batting average, batting .241 as a team, but so far this season, they're the second best at .313. Reliever Boos Gooser of the Bears currently leads the minors in strikeouts with 11 and has yet to give up an earned run in 7.1 inning pitch so far. Funny Man of the Wheelers is currently on a 4-game hitting streak and has been held hitless only once so far. After being held hitless in the first 2 games of the season, Trey Marquez IV of the Wheelers is on a 5-game hitting streak. Wheelers relievers Honda Shigino and Alaskan Assassin are the only 2 members of their pitching staff that have not given up an earned run so far this season. So it looks like a lot of pitching stats there in that one. Let me check on the predictions here, see how we're doing.
And it's raining in my near my villa, which means there's a strong likelihood I'll lose power. It's pretty weak around here.
Oh, I just heard thunder.
If I drop, I'm okay, but
Okay.
my electricity isn't. So
All right, sure, no problem. Just let me know with your phone or whatever in Twitch chat. Not a problem.
I
Okay.
got you.
All right. Well,
What up, person man?
Looks like we're pretty even here on this one. Over 1.5 at 46, under 1.5. Oh, there we go. A big dump there and over 1.5 at the very last second. And we have 5.6K to 2.3K. So over 1.5 looks like. And what was this? Run score errors or what was the one?
Dingers.
Dingers. Okay, so 2 or 1 is what we're looking at here to try and for the over/under. But we're going to go ahead and get started with tonight's first match, and it is the Bears and the Wheelers. Looking at our matchups here, it looks like wow, pretty even, 4.5 to 4.5 on both sides. Turts 881. Thank you very much for the follow. We really appreciate it. Welcome to the PBE. And so it looks like batting-wise, we're completely even here, and Bears had the advantage in pitching with a 27 overall versus, what was this one over here, 20 overall. So, Namie McNamerson, wow, Namie McNamerson is the advantage here in the pitching end. So we're going to go ahead and get started now that the predictions are done, starting off with Jimmy Olsen as our leadoff batter. And let me just turn this back on. And off we go. And straight off the bat, we get a hit right up the middle for Jimmy Olsen, who will start us off with a single. Jacob Sosa down the left field line, and Sosa is going to move Olsen over to third. Oh, Olsen's coming home. What a play. No relay throw either, and just like that, Sosa getting the RBI double, and the Bears are on top, 1-0. And this one's a towering shot towards left field, but it is caught at the wall, and that'll be out number one, excuse me. This one over the second baseman's head, and this will be an RBI. Oh, no, the runner stays at third. Didn't even throw it home, and the runner stayed at third. That's interesting. Line drive to the third baseman, out number 2. McGruff, and almost caught by the left fielder, dropped right in front of him with the sliding play, tried to make the play, wasn't able to do it. And they will get the out at first on this one from, underrated, and that'll be the end of the first inning. But the Bears get 2 on the board. Wheeler is now up. And this one, a line drive to the first baseman, and Mann gets thrown out. Kripo Kosarov gets thrown out. And this one's going to be a fly to center field, and Jimenez is caught, and that is 1-2-3 inning. Top of the second we go. Bears up again. This one to the shortstop, and Lux gets thrown out, and now comes Riley, number 9 hitter Riley. And Riley will be patient there and take a walk, and that brings up Jimmy Olsen, top of the order again, who had a single to start us off. And just like that, Jimmy Olsen is now 2 for 2. Sosa will strike out looking. Runners at the corners, 2 out. W.R. Wolf, and that'll drop in front of the left fielder. Wolf will score 1. Runners at first and second now for Stevie Steve, and this will be a fly out to right field. That's going to retire the side, leave 2 stranded. Move now to the bottom of the second. Wheeler's up. In foul territory right side and caught, and Sanders is out. Gibber up now. Gibber striking out. 2 outs now for Leroy Elroy. And Elroy striking out. And that's going to finish us off as we move now to the top of the third. Bears leading 3-0, and Hametsgod.
Bears up on the road. That's a grounder from Klukas. Oh, bobbled. What are they calling it? They're calling it an error. So first error on the ball game. That was by the third baseman. That's a stolen base. So runner in scoring position with no outs. That error was scored to Sanders, and that's going to be a tag up. And Klukas is now on third. So we got now 2 outs after that strikeout. Underrated striking out. Lux walked, and that's going to be a base hit, and that'll be another run scored for Brew City. So Brew City definitely in control here. And this is going to be a fly ball from Olsen. So that will end the inning with the fly out. Riley had the ribby to go at 4-0. Rogers from Anchorage grounds out. Marquise to fourth. Marquise to fourth. Gonna drop one in right field for a base hit. First hit of the ball game for his team.
Torrent, thank you very much for the Tier 1 subscription.
What up, teammate? So now that was a base hit by McElreath, so runners on first and second. And that's going to be a base hit and a ribby potentially. Nope. So Juice is base for Kripakrisov. Evox new player, and that's going to be one ribby. Will that be two? Nope. So Anchorage finally scores. It's 4-1. One out. Juice is based. 6-4, but not the 3. So now it's 4-2. And now can they get a 2-out rally going? And they will not with the ground out from Sanders. So Anchorage scores 2, makes it a 2-run deficit after that inning. And that's a ground out from Jacob Sosa, Glizzy Master on the mound for Anchorage. That's a base hit from Wolf. W.R. Wolf got all of that one, hit the center field wall, and that's a stand-up double. So 1 out, 1 on for Steve. Steve gets a base hit and right. Bruce City's going to score another run. That's an RBI from Stevie Steve. Bruce City playing good offense. That's a grounder. Pitcher picks it up. They get the 1, the 6, but not the 3. So 2 outs, 1 on for McGruff, and a base hit. We'll put 2 runners on now for Underrated. Underrated with the grounder. Grounds out. Bruce City scores 1. They're up 5-2. We'll go bottom of the 4th. A fly ball in left center. That's going to be out number 1 from Gibber. Elroy draws a walk on a full count, so Rogers will come up. Rogers hits one hard, but lines out to the left fielder. So 1-1 count for Marquise to fourth, who will fly out. And that will end the bottom of the 4th, and no runs scored for Anchorage. 2 left on. And a strikeout from Lux, struck out looking. Riley with a full count fly ball in deep center. That's going to be out number 2. And a base hit from Olsen with 2 outs. So Sosa. And will they love Sosa? They will not. That's going to be out number 3. We'll go bottom of the 5th. Anchorage down 3. And that's going to be out number 1 after the flyout. So Funny Man. Not so funny there. Out number 2, Kripakrisov. Hit that hard in right field. That's a towering shot, but it's going to be out number 3. So W.R. Wolf, Phillies fan 96, new player.
Just barely.
Had me fooled. Beat out the throw, gets an infield single. Nice work by Wolf. Stevie Steve flies out to left for out number 1. Grounder from Klukas. The 5-4-3 double play. Great defense from the Anchorage infield.
Nice one.
To end the inning. That's great work. So Jimenez will come up to bat. And that's the spark you needed, the double play. Now that's a double for Jimenez sliding in for a nice double that hit the left field wall there. And another base hit. Straight to the left fielder. The runner will come home from second. Jimenez scores, so it's 5-3. Anchorage scores a run without an out recorded yet. There's your first out. So ground out from Gibber. Pitching change now. Boost Goozer, the GM, and that's a fly out from Elroy. So 2 outs, tying run at the plate. Rogers, grounder, nice easy play to the shortstop to ground out. So Bruce City, McGruff grounds out for out number 1. Balto will get the strikeout, so 2 up, 2 down, and make that 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 7th. So can Anchorage tie it up? 1-2 count for Marquise to fourth. And a ground out for out number 1. Justin Jett in to relieve Boost Goozer. McElreath draws a walk. And a fly ball from Funny Man, who's now 1 for 4 in the game. Kripakrisov, also going to be 1 for 4, and that will end the bottom of the 7th. We'll go top of the 8th, LBG.
And Bears back up again. Bottom of the lineup, Riley. And Riley will get out for out number 1. Top of the order, Jimmy Olsen.
Ooh.
And that one's in the stands, left field, and that one is out of here. And his score is now 6-3 on the 397-foot home run.
Out of the
That's
park.
a beauty.
That was. Bears up now 6-3. This one hit to the shortstop, throws across, gets the out, and that'll bring up Wolf. W.R. Wolf.
That was the first homer of the game, by the way, for those keeping track of the bet. One
nice.
more to hit the over.
Stevie Steve now with the runner on base over the second baseman's head. And Wolf going to third. Runners now at the corners for Klukas. Klukas, towering shot, center field, going back towards the warning track, makes a catch, and that'll retire the side, leaving both runners stranded, but they get one more on the board. It is now 6-3. 5 outs remaining now for the Wheelers as Jimenez gets a strikeout. And we'll get a pitching change here, and Amore coming in. And that is out number 2 now for the Wheelers. 4 more to go, and that one is over the second baseman's head, and Gibber's going to get on with a single here with 2 outs. Elroy striking out, leaving Gibber at first, and last chance here for Bears to pad their lead. Bottom of their lineup just about, and shortstop's going to throw out McGruff, and that'll bring up Underrated. Underrated's going to get an infield flyout. That'll be out number 2. James Lux now. Lux through the gap in center. That will drop in front of the center fielder, and that'll be a single with 2 outs. Riley coming up now, Paris Riley. And Riley will take a walk, and now we get hot hitter Jimmy Olsen with 2 on and 2 out. Olsen past the shortstop, and that's going to bring 1 home, and the throw, and he's going to be safe. It is now 7-3 Bears. Still 2 on here, and that's a line drive to the left fielder. That's going to finish it off, but the Bears add another one on here, and they have scored 6 out of the 9 innings of this game and lead 7-3.
Got their work cut out for them. Got to score 4 to tie it.
That's right, and Wheelers, that's not a good start as Rogers strikes out looking. Marquise the 4th now. Marquise with the infield tapper, and he does not beat out the throw by the pitcher, McElrath.
Final out.
And line drive to the shortstop, and that's going to do it as the Brew City Bears hang on here to defeat the Anchorage Wheelers with a score of 7-3, 16 hits to 7. Man, Bears offense is really on fire starting out this season. Brew City Bears, we got 5 hits and 2 RBIs from Jimmy Olsen. We're just going to go through these box scores as quickly as we can here, but still try and cover some of the info here. McNamerson gets the win, Master the loss, Armore the save, and Jimmy Olsen is your player of the game. Jimmy Olsen ties the Brew City Bears regular season game record for hits with 5. So 5 hits for Olsen. What a game from Olsen. All right.
Wow. And Nate, if you're watching, the under did hit. There was only 1 dinger. Sorry to the Wheelers. I know there's a lot of y'all in the chat. Kingpins prevail 4-3 over Lowellville, moving to 6-2. Crush Fam having a good past 3 seasons. Justice had a good game, as well as O'Sullivan and McGee. So the Rex gets the win. Junk Ball gets the loss. Mitch the Rex went 5 innings, 1 earned. Is your player of the game. Mixon picking up the save.
And Miss Obvious cashing in $1 million PBE money with their 10,000 channel points. Congratulations, Miss Obvious.
Use that money to bet. Come on.
Right? And
paper hands.
Next game, Hepcats and the Mounties. Hepcats win here and go 4-4 on the season with the score of 10-2 over the Mounties. Even though they scored 2 runs, they got 10 hits. Looking at the batting here, we got several multi-hit games. Looks like 2 runs, 3 hits from Batista. 3 hits as well from Farinac. Kansas City pitching, Schultz gets the win. Jensen Crenshaw the loss. And your player of the game is Rodicus Scott the 4th.
Swifties win with a walk-off. Blammo went Slammo, hit a walk-off solo shot. So smashing one to win it for the Swifties. Love to see it. Sorry, LBG. Yeah. Luca, regular season Luca had a great game for Ribbies. And 2 for 3 from Spencer. Nice game, as well as Barry. Isawa got the start. Dirty with the hole. T2 with the win. Hamburger got the loss. Redacted. Luca from State College, the Swifties getting the W. Luca is your player of the game.
And that takes us to game number 5, the Firehawks and the Armadillos. And let's see here. And Firehawks win this one, move now to 5-3 with a score of 7-6. Close game here, 10 hits and 1 error for both teams, so only 1 run between both of them. Everything else is tied. Looking at our batting here, looks like we had 2 runs, 3 hits from Stern on the California side. Pitching-wise, Thompson gets the win, Branson their second save, Delphine gets their first loss, and Lucas Shapiro is your player of the game. And that finishes us off for the minors, moving now to the majors.
Valor getting 3 dingers. Rougarou win on the road against San Antonio. 3-run shot in the top of the 9th from Vidal Valor, who went 3 for 5. Nobody got multiple hits for Sloss. Nakamura got the start. 43 got the win in relief. Pleasance with the save. Rodriguez Jr. picks up the loss. Valor, your player of the game, ties a regular season record for the new Conference of Champions conference with 3 homers in this one. So Valor, that's a lot of home runs.
That sure is.
A lot of players would kill to have 1 in a game. So getting 3 is pretty good.
Absolutely. And that'll take us to game number 2, the Surge and the Demons. And Surge getting their first win of the season now. Getting it. Oh, this looks like, was this a grand slam? Walk-off grand slam from Diamundo. And
Wow.
the Surge getting the grand slam to finish it out. Nice finish there by the Surge. Grand slam to finish the game. 15 hits to 7 in that one. Moving down to our batting here. I guess there's nobody really better. Armstrong had 3 hits. That's pretty good. Detroit pitching Palmer in relief gets the first loss of the season. McKinnon gets their first win. Player of the game is Nasuma Reda Diamundo with the grand slam.
Buffalo's first win of the season, hitting a walk-off against my brother. Kind of bittersweet. You love seeing a team get their first win, but you don't like seeing your brother getting walked off. The Voyagers didn't need a walk-off, but they hit a grand slam anyway. Menard in the bottom of the 5th, destroying the Apex, 12-0, getting blanked. I think, yeah, the Apex have 2 wins, and their 5 losses, all 5 losses, they haven't scored a run in any of those losses.
That's brutal.
Fun fact, off the dome here, knowing Apex stats, 13 hits for New York to 2 Indies. Tokiyami got the win, Maple got the loss, and Menard is your player of the game for New York. Shu ties a regular season game record for doubles with 3 for the Voyagers. So
some records being broken here right away. Hits, home runs, doubles. Nice.
This was a pretty ugly game.
Oh, the Voyagers one, right? Let's look at right. As soon as they got that grand slam in the 5th inning, that was it.
Yeah.
Didn't even come back up again. Ouch. All right, that moves us to our next game, the Stars and the Aviators. And Aviators on a roll here still and getting their 6th win, 6-1 now in the season with a 7-2 score over the Stars, 9 hits to 3. Looking at our batting here, looks like we had several multi-hit games, 2 RBIs from Linus Riverboat. On the pitching end, Kuramuchi for Nashville taking their first loss of the season. Bob Beaumont gets their 2nd win for Outer Banks, with Domingo Pozo getting their first save, and Bob Beaumont is your player of the game. Klaus Bergen-Cannon ties the OBX regular season game record for bases on balls with 4, so another record broken in the same sim day. That is, wow, 4 records in the same day.
Wow. Seattle that was definitely wow worthy. It's going to get commented on. Seattle moving to 1 game below 500, winning 5-4, scoring all 5 of their runs in the 4th inning or earlier. There's your batters, Sasaki 3 for 5, and everyone but Shiderme and Magiacomo got involved for Vancouver. Balls got the win. DeMarco with the hold, Straight Gas Homie with the save, Takahashi with the loss. Stocks is your player of the game.
And that takes us now, sorry about that, pushed the wrong button there. Game number 6 now, the Toros and the Raptors. And the Toros get their 2nd win now with the score of 9-4. Even though there were 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th by the Raptors, still wasn't enough to even try and get close. 13 hits to 9 in this one. Taking a look at our batting here, we have 4 for 5 with 2 runs scored from Will Fisher. On the pitching end for Cancun, and that is Bergamot Lemon, right? Brass Lemon gets their 1st win of the season for Cancun, and Shank Daly getting their 2nd loss. Player of the game is Chili Gravy. Takes us here.
Scorpions win at Maui 9-2, going to now 4-3 on the year. Let's see. Elliot Alderson was 2 for 3 with a homer and a walk. Drove in 4, scored once for the Scorpions. Ratatouille went 7 innings. We'll go to his stats because those are your 2 best performers. 2 earned in 7 innings.
No.
But Alderson, Knight Rider, picked up 7 runs, got the loss. And
Brutal.
Elliot Alderson is your player of the game.
Brutal. All right, game number 8.
Rookie treatment.
Right. Welcome to the majors. Crabs, Supernovas. Crabs winning this one. The score of 6-3, going 10 innings, getting 3 in the bottom. And of the 10th, it looks like John Camden hit a walk-off 3-run home run versus Dirt Diglett, and that was enough for the Crabs to prevail here in extra innings. 9 hits to 8. Looking at our batting here, several multi-hit games, 3 hits and a run scored for Lemon. On the pitching end, Lagoose, no decision. Diglett gets their first loss, and Crab gets a hold. Wynn gets a blown save, and Bart Murley taking their first win in relief. Player of the game is Dasani Voss. And that
Dasani Voss.
Right?
Jeez. So Ryan Tyler giving it to my team. Jeez. Go easy on us, man. Dang.
And that'll finish this off for Sim Day number 1. We're going to go ahead and advance now and take a look at our schedule here. And it looks like for the 29th, we're going to have a quick sim all here. So let's just, since Hummus and I normally do, where'd it go? There it is. Since Hummus and I normally do the minors, we're going to do minors first on this one. Let me just save our game here real quick. And we'll go down here and take a look at the minors box scores. No minors, so I guess majors only. And we'll let Hummus get the Rougarou and the Sloss.
And late rally by the Rougarou gives them a 5-3 win, moving to 6-2 on the year. A 2-run single by Bonanza in the top of the 9th was the difference to win. Let's see. Multi-hits from Cook, Valor, and Geronimo, as well as Knox from San Antonio. Mozarowski gets the win. King George III gets the loss. And Mazarowski went 7 innings of work, 2 earned runs. Is your player of the game. Wright got the save for New Orleans. So big win for the Rougarou, the number 1 contenders for sure.
And that'll take us to our next game. And the Surge are not able to try and get a streak going here as they lose this one to the Demons. Still only at 1 win on the season with the score of 8-4. They did get 2 in the bottom of the 9th, but just were not able to hang on and get some more. 4 errors. That's probably the highest errors I've seen in quite some time. 4 errors by the Surge in this one. 6 total by both teams. Taking a look at our batting, we do have 4 for 5 with 2 RBIs from Ben Stackenpaper, 3 hits, 2 RBIs from Danny B. Over on the pitching end, Tim Galvin for Detroit getting their second win. Bellinger Jr. for Buffalo taking their second loss. And player of the game is Ben Stackenpaper.
Voyagers roll to an 8-3 win over the Apex, moving to 5-3 on the season.
They scored
Kirk
on a
Swerve
loss.
had an outstanding performance for the Voyagers. Kuntz went 3 for 4, though, so did Swerve. 2 for 4 for D-Parm of the Apex, former Dynamo. Checking out the pitching, Miller gets the win. Dion takes the loss. And let's see, Whole Horse got the save. Kirk Swerve is your player of the game for the Voyagers.
And he scored in a loss. That's the first one this season so far. Moving on to game number 4, the Stars and the Aviators. And Aviators win this one and continue their winning streak. Now it's 7-1 on the season. A 12-0 4-hit shutout of the Stars. 14 hits on the Aviator side. Taking a look at Aviators batting, look at that. 2 hits, 4 RBIs, 2 walks for Mike Latoris. That's got to be MVP or player of the game numbers right there. Nashville pitching, Baxter takes their second loss. Rays Funk with the complete game win. 9.0 innings pitched, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 110 pitches. And just like I predicted, Mike Latoris is your player of the game.
So he took player of the game from a pitcher who got a complete game shutout.
Yes, that's
How do you get a complete game shutout and not get player of the game?
right.
His name is Mike Latoris. Seattle winning 6-1 on the road against the Vandals, so moving to 500 ball here in the early going. Let's see, Seattle's got a bunch of multi-hitters, Dowd, Winters, and Campbell. Wallaby good. Oh, excuse me, that's not Wallaby. Never mind. Anyways, a 2 for 4 for Herb Sessions. Just picked him up in fantasy. Rogers with the loss. Yeah, Herb Sessions MVP candidate. And Hammersmith with the win. Bingo Hammersmith went 7.1, gave up a run, getting that ERA down. Only 3 walks. Player of the game.
That would make me really happy to see Herb winning MVP.
Yeah, talked to him earlier. Told him I got him with the very last pick of our draft, pick 40.
All right, let's see here. Our next game, the Toros and the Raptors. Toros getting their third win on the season with a score of 10-9 going in extra innings, getting one in the top of the ninth, 18 hits to 14. Wow, 32 hits in this one. Taking a look at our batting, 5 RBIs from Dom Drostoff over there, 4 hits from Will Fisher. Pitching wise, oh my goodness, Cancun used an entire bullpen here.
Whole squad.
Yeah, Shu getting the win in relief, Sleppy in the hold, Gunk the save, and on the other side, Toasties for Boise taking their first loss in relief. Player of the game is Petra Sabor, rain delay of 46 minutes.
Death Valley beats Maui 3-2, eking it out on the road. Maui stuck at 1 win. Let's see. Stephanie Morgan was in a rhythm. Chris Jacob, Rookie of the Year winner, had a big game. Went 1 for 4, but had a crucial RBI. Baldelli with the loss. Morgan with the win. Washington with the hold. Ingram with the save for DVS. Stephanie Morgan gets Player of the Game.
And that takes us to our final game of this sim day, and that is the Supernovas and the Crabs. And the Crabs win again over the Supernovas here. This time a score of 5-4. Supernovas got 1 in the top of the ninth, but just was not enough. 9 hits for both teams. Taking a look at our batting here, a couple of multi-hit games, but the best one here looks like it's going to be Cloudera, going 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. On the pitching end for Sarasota, Austin Bentley taking their second loss. 4.1 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 71 pitches. Over on the other side for Providence, Tachibana getting their first win. Ruth Heater Ginsburg their first hold. Murley their second hold. And George Washington Crab their first save. Player of the game is Yuto Kira Cloudera. And that's going to finish us off for the 29th of April. Let me just make sure again we did not have any minors games. We did not. So we're going to move on now to our next sim day. And pulling up my schedule here, it is going to be our first primetime and only primetime of the night, primetime 4 of the week, and that will be the Buffalo Surge versus the Indianapolis Apex. So both teams struggling here early in the season. This could be a real pitcher's duel here. I'm not thinking it's going to be an offensive-related prediction stat, but maybe something defensive-related. Nameless Nate or Hummus might be we're trying for this one. But while we're pulling up that info, let me look at the matchups here and have that going. And while they start the predictions, I'm going to go ahead and go over here and pull up the info from our wonderful stats team on this matchup. And let's see here. Buffalo finished 3rd in the Legends East in their debut season with 41 wins. Funnily enough, their expansion counterpart Seattle also finished 3rd in division with 45 wins. The Apex are the reigning champions of the Champions West Division. Despite some roster shakeups, they've still got 2 of their 3 Gold Glove winners from last season. In second base, Sailor Twift and P. Dogwood Maple, as well as their lone Silver Slugger winner from last season and catcher Ben Dover. They'll be doing to those vets. They'll be looking to those vets to mentor their young rookie batters they've had to call up this season. Those being Rotor Wash with the mustache, Eagle Eye, and Jody Quinn. All right, so let me minimize this here, and we'll take a look at see how our prediction is going. And it looks like right now under with 20,000 points, 98%. And
yeah, sorry, Supernovas. Not feeling good after that loss. Shout out to Providence, though. New management in control, making a lot of bold moves. And built a pretty good roster this year in the Legends Conference.
Right.
Total errors over under almost done. Get it in while you can. Over under 1.5. The under is doing really well.
There's 27, almost 28,000 channel points up for this one. So a lot of big numbers being put in by some of our viewers here tonight. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. It looks like the unders, everybody's thinking under 1.5 errors in this one. Looking at our matchups here, let's see here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like 5 Surge, 4 Indianapolis in the batting end. The Surge having a little bit better in the upper half of the lineup portion. And the Apex have a little bit better here with Doug Dangley at 75 overall versus 64 for Balquin. So we're going to get started here with game number 2. Wendell Meredith will be our first batter up. And I'd just like to say before we get started here, I'd like to thank Leatherneck Mike, who took over the stats team here recently and has been doing a really good job trying to coordinate with the streamers, getting information out to them, not only for stats before the matches, but I've been given some stats here to read during the game. So we're going to get started here in our first, actually, let me cancel here real quick. We're going to do a file save just to make sure we're all good. There we go, and pull this back up, and off we go. Meredith up first. And as we get started here, the Surge batters currently lead the Legends Conference in walks with 31 so far. Wendell Meredith and Natsuma Diamondo are tied for the conference lead with 6 each. As we get a strikeout here to start us off, as a team, the Apex have the second best ERA in the Champions Conference at 3.06 so far, but the worst batting average at just 187. And we're going to get another strikeout here, and that is 2 out now for Buffalo. And also for Wendell Meredith, last season Wendell Meredith led the Legends Conference in stolen bases with 59. He currently only has 2 so far. So Meredith hoping to get started here, get the season going. And now we're going to go to the bottom of the first, and Indianapolis is up. And the information I have for Indianapolis here is the Apex have yet to record a run in a game they've lost so far this season. They did that just earlier in the stream, so they've broken that record. But hopefully things turn around for the Apex here and they can get some runs going. And this one's a drilled hit towards, and that is out of here, left field. And just like that, Apex getting one on the board, and it is now 1-0.
Out of the park.
And that'll take us now to our next batter, Johnny Tsunami, who's on a cold streak here, but that one will be a good hit as they get through the gap on the left side and gets on base. And Johnny going for the steal, and Johnny has it. Johnny with steal number 4 on the season now. We'll get a strikeout from Jimbo Slice, and that'll bring up Rotor Wash with a mustache. And Rotor Wash with a mustache striking out as well. Oh, that was the other side. Buckley now. And Buckley gets out. Spacok in the gap, and Spacok is going to get a double here with 2 outs. Suave. This one, the first baseman throws the pitcher, gets the out, leaves the runner stranded. We now move to the bottom of the second. Indianapolis up now. And a strikeout looking from Rotor Wash with the mustache, and that'll bring up Sailor Twift. And Twift will take a walk. Jody Quinn now with a runner on, 1 out. To the second baseman, they get 1, and the 4-6-3 double play, and that'll finish the side as we now move to the top of third. 1-0 Apex with Thomas Scott.
Indy scored, by the way. That's breaking news. They scored a run. Gonzalez strikes out. Dangley getting already 4 strikeouts early in this game. Dangly. Dangling them, and that's a pop out from Diamondo. So Tintin got the speed, but won't beat out that easy out. So Apex Bats looking to maybe score again. Would be wild. Franco striking out. Dover lining out. Zach Mouse, former Vandal. And grounding out to end the inning. Finn Reese striking out. Svenberg grounding out. Kind of a little bit of a pitcher's duel here. Taters. Ooh, and a weird pop-up. Line drive pop-up combo to end the inning. Parmalee, good contact in opposite field. Warning track, but caught for the out. Balkan, former Scorpion, having a good game. That's a pop out for out number 2. And a strikeout from Jimbo Slice. He struck out looking, didn't even make a swing at it. Bruce Buckley, former Vandal and Supernova, flies out for out number 1. Spacok. And Spacok will fly out. Suave grounding out for out number 3. So we'll go bottom of the 5th. Rotor Wash with a mustache. Starting us off. Flying out. And this has been, we're kind of flying through here, game number 2.
Kind of figured it was going to be a defensive one, yeah.
A beaned ball. Twift, that's the second walk he's drawn. Quinn gets a base hit. Jody Blooper getting the 1-out single. And a base hit from Franco. Franco, second year in the league, gets an RBI to go up 2-0. So 1 out, 2 on for Dover, who strikes out on a 2-2 count. So Zach Mouse line out for out number 3. But kudos to the Apex batters. They scored again, which is more breaking news in this game. Gonzalez draws a walk off the bean to bat, and that's in the good gap for Nyamundo. They're both speedy. Will Gonzalez come home? She will not. So both runners in scoring position for Tintin.
Oh, boy.
Who loads the bases with a walk. Here we go.
No outs.
Leading run at first, and they bring 1 home with the base hit from Finn Reese. Bring 2 home.
They had done the infield shift to block the hit, too.
With 1 at bat, they tie it up. Buffalo, no outs. Scored 2 so far in this inning. Svanberg striking out looking. Taters striking out looking as well. 2 outs, 2 on for Buckley. Buckley! That hit the center field wall. That's going to be multiple runs scored and a double sliding in. So Buffalo roaring back and taking the lead. Some 2-out magic. It's 4-2. And make that maybe another run. Run coming home from second base. Spakak drives in the 5th run of the top of the 6th. Jeez Louise, I commented on we were flying. That pop-out ends the inning, but
right.
That was one heck of a half inning for Buffalo offense. And a fly out from Parmalee.
I guess that was their biggest inning all season so far.
Gotta be one of them. Oh, and a ground out from Tsunami. Great defense from Suave. And a strikeout from Slice. They go down in order. Top of the 7th now. Danny Gonzalez, the GM. Drawing a walk. Remember, last time that happened, runs were scored, but that's going to be a strikeout. Tintin. The 5-4-3 double play. They got the speedster out. Jimbo to Twift. What a great play from the Apex defense. So Rotor Wash with the mustache. Bloops one into right. Bringing up Sailor Twift. Twift hits it hard, but lines out to the shortstop. Jody Blooper strikes out. And Wonder Franco strikes out as well. Balkan having a game. Finn Reese now. Oh, this is LBG. Sorry. But
no problem. Finn Reese striking out, and that brings us to Svanberg. And Svanberg strikes out looking as well. And now Taters. Sandy Taters. Taters. That's an infield pop, and that'll be out number 3. And we now move to the bottom of the 8th inning, and we get a pitching change here. Bill Graves coming in for the Buffalo. And that'll be a fly out to left field for out number 1. Zach Mouse now will take a walk. 1 on, 1 out, and that'll bring up Dustin Parmalee. Parmalee, and that'll drop in front of the left fielder. And Zach thought about going to third, stays. 2 on, 1 out now. Rotor Wash with the mustache, and they only get... Oh, that was Johnny Tsunami, excuse me. They only get the runner at second. Runners at the corners. Towering shot towards center field. Caught at the warning track. And that'll retire the side as we now move to the 9th inning. Up by 3.
Bases loaded.
They sure did. This is going to be a flyout for out number 1. That'll bring up Spakak. Spakak has had a decent game so far. We'll strike out on this one. Suave now. And Suave will take a walk. Gonzalez. 2 out, 1 on. Gonzalez, tapper, pitcher grabs that one, throws over first base, gets the out, and that'll retire the side, leaving that 1 runner stranded. Last chance here for Indianapolis as we get a flout here from Rotor Wash with the mustache. Sailor Twift, 2 outs to go. Sailor will get a walk. Jody Quinn, pitching change. McKinnon coming in. This one, oh, and we get a fumble bumble by the second baseman, and that'll let both runners on.
Tying run at home.
And that's in the gap. And here comes 1. Second one coming as well. And this is going to be a 2 RBI triple from Wonder Franco. And just like that.
At the plate?
Yes, this could be a walk-off here. And that's going to drop, and we have now a tie game. Tie game. 5-all. RBI from Ben Dover.
Indy.
And are they going to get the steal here? Yes, Dover with the steal. And Zach Mouse with the runner in scoring position. And this looks like it's going to fly out. Does the runner tag? No, they stay at second. Runner in scoring position. Dustin Parmalee, 2 out. Parmalee.
Parmalee.
And that's a flyout. And we're going to extra innings. Top of the 10th with Hummuscod, 5-5.
A 3 running bottom of the 9th. Yes, folks. It is minor league night. Minor league night is delivering. Diamundo with a pop out. Whatever that was. Thank you, OTP. Tintin, though. Tintin. No. So Finn Reese with 2 outs. Finn Reese, God, he's got a good bat. That's 2 for 5 on the game now.
He's going for 3.
Going for 3?
Oh
my goodness.
Wow.
Class of the league hitting 324, but Svanberg strikes out immediately after that 2-out triple. So bottom of the 10th. Winning run at the plate. Tsunami. Will we see a walk-off? That's out number 1. Jimbo's slice now. The GM of the Mounties grounds out. So Rotor Wash with a mustache with 2 outs. And they go down in order. Miko McKinnon takes them all out. So we'll go top of the 11th, LBG.
Middle of the lineup here. 4-5-6 for Buffalo. Sandy Tatus is going to get us started. Sandy over the second baseman's head, and Sandy's going to get a leadoff single here. Bruce Buckley having a cold streak right now, but Bruce will take the walk here. We have 2 on, no outs for Spakak. Spakak to the gap in center. This could score 1 here. No, they stay. Juice is based. No outs. Suave in the chat with us, and Suave is going to take a walk, and that'll bring a runner home. And Buffalo now in the lead by 1. And we'll get a strikeout here from Gonzalez, and now Diamundo. And Diamundo striking out. Last chance here. Meredith. And that's going to retire the side, and Buffalo gets 1 on the board. Bottom of the 11th we go. Indianapolis needs to respond here. Bottom third of their lineup too, but it doesn't matter as Sailor Twift gets on with a leadoff single. Jody Quinn, pitching change again. Reed Sutherland coming in this time, and that is over the second baseman's head. And we now have 2 on, and Indianapolis winning run at the plate. Indianapolis to the third baseman, throws across to first, does not make the play. Juice is based, no outs. Bend over, striking out. 1 out, 3 on. Zach Mouse, former teammate, and the Vandals, and he's going to fly out. Does the runner come? Runner tags, coming home, and he scores. 6-6 tie game. Shortstop gets the out at second, and we're going to go on to the 12th inning, tied 6-6 with Hummuscod. It looks like we went so long, there's no more matches showing. I guess Hummus is AFK or muted. That is...
We're back.
Oh, okay.
And we're here in the 12th now in this wild game. 2 outs now. Sandy Taters that hit the wall. That was a hard hit ball at the center field wall. Dropped my internet for a second, but we're back now. Leading run at second. They do the pitch out walk to get force outs at both thirds, all 3 bases, but the Cox strikes out. We'll go bottom of the 12th now. Apex walk it off. We had a wild 11th inning where we see a wild 12th. That's out number 1. And that's deep in right field. Jimbo. See ya. The Apex winning, tying it up in the 9th. Scoring, tying it up in the 11th, and winning in the bottom of the 12th. Jimbo sent that ball deep in right field for the win. Apex score runs and win. Wow. Yeah, you knew they were going to win because they scored, but they made it difficult on the heart rates of the Apex faithful. So they moved to 3 wins on the year. That was a wild one here on minor league night.
Absolutely.
Delivering. Jimbo did it himself. A walk-off solo shot in the 12th against Sutherland. Clip that. Jimbo. Slice.
Whew.
Yeah, that game had everything, including me losing internet for like half a second. I think my Discord bugged out.
Uh-oh.
Actually, yeah, my Ethernet kind of popped out. I had to put it back in. But look at the bottom of the order for Indy. Jody Quinn, Wander Franco, 3 for 5. 3 for 6 for Spakak. Dangley gave up 5 and 5.2, not having a good season so far. Looking like Bentley. Grays with the hold. McKinnon with the blown save. Sutherland with the loss. Balkin is your player of the game. So the starting pitcher who got a no decision for Buffalo gets player of the game honors.
Something I noticed that was interesting here. Sailor Twift only had 1 hit and 2 walks, but they were able to score on all 3 times. So that was pretty good efficiency there by Twift.
Yeah, Indy, gave up that run in the 11th, tied it up in the bottom, and then walked it off in the 12th. Jimbo said, "I'm going to do it myself."
All right, well, that takes us now to our next game, the Sloss and the Supernovas, and the Sloss win here, getting their 4th win on the season with the score of 2-0. Excuse me, 5-1, 5 hits to 4. They got 2 in the top of the 9th there. Looking at our batting here, only single hit games on their side. I see a couple of 2 RBIs from Sandwiches and Jimenez. San Antonio pitching, Windsor getting their 2nd win, Dugan their 1st hold, and for Sarasota, Urquidez Garcia taking their 1st loss this season. Player of the game is Nolan Windsor. Windsor, 6.0 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, 86 pitches.
Tristan, the rare occasion where he gives up 2 innings in a relief outing. El Charo Stars getting the win, moving to 3-6 against the defending champs New York Voyagers. Luongo drew a walk and drove in a run. Let's see. Johnson had a great game, 2 for 3. No multi-hit games for the Voyagers. El Charo, look at that, 3-0 on the year now. Sevart with the loss. El Charo went 7 scoreless, struck out 7, gave up 1 walk, gets player of the game honors, and Rulo gets the save. McFlorida Man getting the hold. So Stars, big team win to get in that win column, helping their chances in that tough Champions East.
And that takes us now to the Sea Serpents and the Aviators. And Sea Serpents now above 500 with 5 wins and 4 losses, beating the Aviators, taking their only 2nd loss this season so far with a score of 6-3, 10 hits to 9. Looking at our batting here, 3 for 3 from Linus Riverboat and 3 RBIs on the other side for Seattle for Dowd. On the pitching for Outer Banks, Walker Cato getting their 1st loss of the season. For Seattle, Sullivan taking their 1st win, and DeMarco their 4th hold. Player of the game is John Dowd.
Robert now 1-2 after subduing the Vandals. The Toros getting the win, moving closer to 500, calling up a bunch of players this season. 2 hits for Rogers, Drozdov, and LaFleur. And the Vandals had 2 hits total. Robert got the win. Johnson went the distance but takes the loss. Robert went 7 scoreless, struck out 9, walked 2. Johnson giving the bullpen a rest, but couldn't get any run support. Robert had a gem of a game, absolute gem.
He's player of the game. All right, that takes us now to game number 6, the Raptors and the Scorpions. And Scorpions win this one 4-3, 9 hits for both teams. Really close one here. Looking at our batting, a couple multi-hit games on the Boise side, but it looks like 2 hits, 2 RBIs for Rodriguez was the best one there. Pitching for Boise, Lucas taking their 2nd loss of the season. Sims their 2nd win. Washington their 4th hold, and Baxter their 1st save. Player of the game is Justin Sims. Sims 6.1 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 95 pitches.
Sims good. New Orleans doubling up Maui 8-4, moving to 7 wins on the season. Hamid hitting a 2-run double in the bottom of the 7th was big. Homers by Bonanza Nakia. And yeah, wow. Cook had 4 hits in this one and 5 at bats, 3 runs scored. DeFerrari with the win, 43 with the hold. Evans with the loss. Naz Hamed played for the Kashima organization at one point, is your player of the game. So kind of a friendly rivalry between your old team.
Wow.
Went 3 for 4 with 4 ribbies.
All right, and that takes us now to our final game for this sim day, the majors, and that is the Detroit Demons and the Providence Crabs. Demons win this one, now go to 7-2 on the season. Demons really turning it around the start of this season compared to last. 6-5, 9 hits to 7. Taking a look at our batting, couple multi-hit games. Looks like our best one here, 4 for 4 with 3 runs scored, is going to be Victor Herrera. Couple of 2 RBIs as well for Detroit. Providence pitching, win in relief, takes their 1st loss and 2nd blown save. And Brady for Detroit gets their first win in relief. Player of the game is Victor Herrera. And that finishes us off for the majors, pulling up the minors now. And we'll do the Bears and the Wheelers.
Bears winning 4-2 at Anchorage. Bears 6-3 now on the season. GM's working real hard behind the scenes. Had a rough go of it last season. Their first 2 seasons actually.
Yeah.
So this is their third. 2 hits for Krapakosov, Jimenez, and Sanders of the Wheelers. 2 hits for McGruff and Underrated. Look at Underrated having a great season so far. The name that I chose. Taylor gets the loss. Hunter Havoc, Hoppy getting the win. Nice outing. Cheeks with the hold. Goozer with the hold as well. Armour with the save. Hunter Havoc is your player of the game. So Bears built a good team this year. Can they keep it going?
And my Dynamos on the skids again, taking a loss here from the Swifties. A score of 4-2, 12 hits to 7. Dynamos now 2-7 on the season. Looking at our batting here, 3 for 4 from Andrew Berry, 3 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI on the other side for Love. Pitching for Dallas in relief, Williams taking their first loss. And for State College, Singh getting their first win, 1-1 now for them. T2 their first save. And player of the game is Will Love.
Kansas City winning 3-1. Defending champs now sitting above 500 after that win. Maverick Smoltz and Rodicus Scott. Scott went 1 for 4 but had a ribby. 2 for 4 for Slokening, 2 for 3 for Dracula. Nobody got any multi-hits for Kingston. Todoroki gets the loss. Smoltz with the win. O'Furniture with the hold. O'Sullivan with the save. Maverick Smoltz went 6 innings, gave up 1 run, struck out 4 in 98 pitches. So good outing for Smoltz, leads to a Hepcats W.
And that takes us to game number 4, the Lemurs and the Kingpins. And Lemurs, I did some sim testing at the beginning of this week, and it looked like Lemurs were going to be the team to beat in the minors, taking the top spot in almost all the sims that I tested. So Lemurs really looks like they might be the favorites this season, and they do win over the Kingpins here and move to 5-4, 5-4 on the season with a score of 9-3, 13 hits to 9. Looking at our batting here, several multi-hit games, but I do have 3 RBIs for McGee and 2 for 3 hits for Burrow and 4 for 4 with 2 RBIs from Lane on the other side. Louisville pitching, Velasquez getting their second win, 2-1 now. Lemonade their first loss, 2-1 for them, and player of the game is Hudson Lane.
Firehawks bridling the armadillos. Love that verb there. 3 runs spread out from the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th for Cali, moving to 6 wins. 2 ribbies for Bet Barker, good game. 1 ribby for McGee for Amarillo. Diag takes the loss. It's LGM's player. Silliams getting the dub. McThornbody getting the save. Wade Silliams went 6.1, gave up a run. No walks, 5 strikeouts, is your player of the game.
And that finishes us off for the 30th of April. We're going to move on now looking at my schedule. And it looks like our next game here is going to be feature game number 3, and it will be the Swifties versus the Firehawks. So we're going to
let's go.
Finish out this one here and pull up the stats on this one. And see here. Here we are. And any thoughts on predictions for this one?
Let Nate run it. I'm thinking maybe, Nate, if you're listening, what about how many 1-run games for the minors in this sim day? So it's a fun, an interesting one because it kind of forces all of us to keep tabs on the out of town, which we usually don't do. We don't do bets that involve the out of town. So how about if there's one over under 0.5 1-run games in this minor league sim day?
And you said just 1.5 or 0.5?
I'm thinking, let's see, 5 games, 10 teams. I'm thinking 1 game.
Game. Okay. 2 might be a little too much.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
Maybe 1.5. It's up to him, obviously. Like he's running it. So.
All right, and let me read the info we have. Oh, I'm getting a DM here in the sim channel. Let me see here. Oh, that's something unrelated. All right, let me go back over here to the stat info, and we're going to read the stat info for this game with the Swifties and the Firehawks. Jake Obermuller of the Swifties currently leads the Miners in slugging at 769 and isolated power 462. Last season, the Swifties pitching staff led the league in home runs against at just 89. This season, they've allowed 7 so far, good for 6th best in the minors. Swifties batters have struck out 40 times this season, second best in the minors. The best in the minors is the Firehawks, who have struck out just 36 times. In addition to leading the league in strikeouts, the Firehawks also lead the league in stolen bases with 17. Benny Rodriguez and Ignacio Encarnacion of the Firehawks are tied for third most stolen bases in the minors with 4 each. The Firehawks have the best bullpen ERA in the minors at 2.22 ERA. All right, so let me pull up and take a look here at the predictions, and it looks like right now the under is at 67. Wow, we're almost up to 20,000 channel points on this one. Time running out here if you want to get your bets in at the last second. And it's now 40 to 60. And there we go. So it looks like we finished out at 40% at over 1.5, 60% at under. So we'll take a look here after the finishing of this match to see how the box scores went. But we're going to get started here with this one and start off with Jimmy Blamo as our leadoff batter as the Swifties take on the Firehawks. And let me just real quick before I do that. There we go. And Blamo starting us off.
Some water, be right back.
Sure. And leadoff hitter Blamo. Pitcher coming set. And the throw. And this one drilled to the first baseman. And that looked like an error. Yes, that is a fumble bumble by the first baseman. And we're going to strike out the first baseman was right there at the bag and still made the error, unable to pick up the ball and just walk it over 3 or 4 feet to the base. And we're going to walk here from this dude. And now Dordovic. Dordovic striking out 2 on, 2 out now for cold hitter LeBlond. LeBlond to the shortstop, makes a play at second, gets the out, leaves the runner stranded. We now move to the bottom of the first. Firehawks up. Hopefully Schoolboy Shoes in the chat with us watching his team. And this one is hit way at the warning track, and that one is caught for out number 1. And wow, Encarnacion's face looks like a wrestler or something. Lucha Libre. And we'll get a strikeout here, and that's going to finish off the side. Top of the second now. This one hit to the second baseman, and that is out number 1 for Obermuller. Johnson now. Past the third baseman, down the left field side. That is going to be a base hit. And Zay Johnson getting on. And that'll bring up Reagan. Oh, they got him out. They got him out at first.
Ooh.
And that's going to be a hit, and that would have moved the runner had they stayed. Sportello now, and that'll be a fly out to center field. That'll leave the runner stranded. Now move to the bottom of the second. Firehawks up. And that looked like he hit him. Yes, it did plunk him. And Rembeverwinkle taking the base. Strikeout here from Slaseco, and that'll bring up Grimes Jr. Grimes Jr. to the first baseman, goes to the shortstop, but is unable to get the double play. And now we have Stern. And they'll get the out, and that'll retire the side as we now move to the top of the third, still 0-0 with Hummuscott.
Yeah, no runs scored for either team, as LBG just pointed out. Blamo trying to change that up, but gets the line out. Will Love. We love Will Love, but he strikes out swinging. This dude striking out. He's not that guy. He's this dude, but he's not that guy. Benny Rodriguez. Excuse me, that's not Benny Rodriguez. Rodriguez. They got me. That's 2 outs back to back. That was Lulingo. Bougie. And a fly out to end the inning. Luka Dordovic.
So were you able
drawing the walk.
Were you able to name any other players other than underrated when they had the auction?
The only player I've ever named is underrated. I've named your bot Tahini at one point. Oh, that's going to bring the runner to third. James LeBlond. A 3-1 count and an RBI for Obermuller. It's now 1-0 State College. No outs either, so this is nice. Wow. Juice is based for Zay Johnson, who draws the walk. So Reagan strikes out swinging on a 1-2 count. Sportello, another strikeout. Robert Grimes, can you get out of this unscathed? You will not. That's going to be an RBI. Other running coming from second. And now it's 3-0. Blammo, clutch at bat. Will Love loading the bases up. Off the 3-0 count. Interesting. This dude. He is this dude. And he is going to score 2 runs. Make it 5-0 Swifties. This is some 2-out rally magic on minor league night. One of 2 minor league nights.
Grimes
State College up 5-0. And a pop out from Luca ends the inning. But the Swifties score 5 and jump way out in front. California got a lot of work to do now. And that will be a fly out for out number 1. Grounder, ground out for out number 2. That was James Barker. So Rembever-Winkle will... Oh! The error in left field.
Wow.
I almost called the out. This is why you don't call the outs until they happen, folks. Because sometimes you'll get the rare error. So now runners on first and second.
Oh, boy.
Anton Grimes Jr., that error will cost State College, giving up the first run of the game for California off the first hit of the game for California. But a strikeout from Stern. So Grimes Jr. ties it up, takes advantage of the error from State College. And LeBlanc draws a walk. So Obermuller with the ground out. So 1 on 1 out. Runner in scoring position for Zay Johnson, who grounds out. Reagan grounds out. And nothing doing in that inning for State College after erupting the inning before. And that's deep for Benny Rodriguez, who hits it 376 feet. A solo shot to start us off here in the bottom of the 5th. Was busy still calling the last half inning. That was quick. Lulingo, too fast. Gets the infield single. So Bad and Bougie draws a walk. So 2 on, nobody out. For Encarnacion, who flies out for out number 1. Barker drops it in left field for a base hit. So Juice is base for the veteran, Rembever-Winkle. Former champion. Probably going to get the sacrifice fly run here, and they do. So nice work, nice teamwork from Beverwinkle, getting the RBI, and a line out from Sloseko. Slawface, new player, will end the inning, but California creeping back in this one. And a ground out for Sportello starts off the top of the 6th. A strikeout from Blammo gets out number 2. Boyd Jr. for California still on the mound, and they go down in order. Nice inning of work by Oil Can Boyd Jr. So right back to California we go. It's a strikeout for out number 1 for Grimes Jr. Stern with a 1-out single. Nice piece of hitting there. Rodriguez. Oh, we got a stolen base attempt. That's the 4th on the year, and they're in time. And a fly out from Rodriguez gets out number 2. Pitching change. Scott Stelling for State College, and that will be a fly out from Lulingo. So we'll go top of the 7th. State College still up 2. This dude who's having a great game draws a walk. Luca. And this dude, first steal of the season for this dude. Nice work. Good timing on it. Oh, and the tag up from this dude now on third after that fly out from Luca. Oh, and that's a clutch at bat from LeBlanc. I hit the wall in center field. Nice piece of hitting from James LeBlanc, getting that average up at 6-3 Swifties. And that's going to be a base hit and left for Obermuller. But LeBlanc elects to park at third. Zay Johnson. Oh, they got the pickoff?
They did.
They did to get the second out. And this grounder may be the 3rd out. Wow, the clutch pickoff prevents a run being scored. Nice work by the pitcher there. Bougie will come up for California. I think that was still Boyd Jr. And that's a ground out for out number 1.
Right,
Encarnacion. Right and dirty, yep. And that's out number 2 for Encarnacion. So Barker, nice towering shot and right, but caught for the easy out. We'll go top of the 8th now. LBG.
And bottom of the lineup here, Reagan up. Swifties up by 3. This one tapped right to the pitcher. Goes across, gets the first out. Cold hitter Sportello now. Portello to the shortstop, and that'll be out number 2. Top of the order again, Blammo. Blammo will take a walk here. And hot hitter Will Love coming up. Runner at first. Will Love, towering shot, right field. And that is out of here. And just like that, Will Love is able to pull ahead here now at the score of 8-3.
Out of the park.
Still 2 outs, and we're going to walk here from this dude, Dvorak. And that'll be a fly to center field, leaving the runner stranded. We now move to the bottom of the 8th. Down by 5.
Era.
Yeah. Down by 5 now. Firehawks need to get something going, and that was what they needed right there from Rembeverwinkle, leadoff single. This one through the gap on the left side, and Slaseco gets on. 2 on now, still no outs. Grimes Jr. Tying run at the plate, and now juices are based. No outs. Stern, pitcher change. Perry coming in. And they get the double play, but the run scores. And this one to the shortstop. Throws across, makes a play, gets the out. And they only get 1 in the bottom of the 8th, California. They're still down by 4. Swifties, and that'll be a fly out to right field. And Obermueller up now. Obermueller striking out. 2 outs now for Zay Johnson. And Johnson striking out. And here we go. Last chance here for California. Down by 4. Bottom of their lineup. Lulingo coming up first.
A state versus a college town.
And the first baseman grabs that one, runs across, makes a tag, out number 1. Top of the order, and we'll get a strikeout from Bougie. Last chance here. Encarnacion. Down by 4. Encarnacion, and this is going to be a flyout to left center field, and that's going to do it as the Swifties hold on here and are able to defeat the California Firehawks and now move 7-3 on the season, just 1 game above the Firehawks now with a score of 8-4, 9 hits to 7. Taking a look at our batting, multi RBI games all the way down, but on the top here, the best one's got to be Blammo with 2 runs, a hit, and 2 RBIs. Pitching wise for State College, Strikeout gets their second win. Stelling hold, Dirty third hold, Perry their first save, and for California, Grimes taking their second loss. Player of the game is this dude. All right, now before we go over the other box scores here, let's take a look at the over-unders. So we do have 1 here. There's 2-3, 3-4. There's the over.
Yep, right there.
So yeah, that was just enough to get the over there with those 2 games. So
Good bet by Nameless Nate. Don't listen to me. I thought 0.5 was the move, but it looks like 1.5 was perfectly fine. Lemurs getting a close win over the Hepcats, moving to 6-4 over the defending champs. A walk-off from Myth. A walk-off run-scoring single versus Turbo. So the Lemurs, in dramatic fashion, getting the win. 3-for-4 from Miles Burrow. And nobody had multiple hits for KC. Chinapi got the start. Price got the win. Turbo got the loss. Stefano Chinapi got the no decision, but only gave up 2 in 6 innings of work. So a big win for the Lemurs. A 1-run win against the defending champs.
And that takes us now to our next game, the Wheelers and the Dillos. And the Wheelers winning here with a score of 4-3, 10 hits to 11, 2 errors on the Dillo side. Batting wise, looks like we have 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and that is, who is that? Mikey Moe. Mikey Moe for the Dillos having a great game. Pitching wise for the Dillos, Dasani. No, that's Nini, isn't it? Yeah, Nini. Taking their second loss. Over on the other side for Anchorage, Dog taking their first win, and Rizzo their first save. Player of the game is Josh Sanders. See here that we saw that one, so that takes us here to this one.
Yuppers going 3-for-5. Yuppie Yuppers. Mounties go to 4-8 on the season. Dynamos slide 4-6. Excuse me. Dynamos slide to 2-8. Runs. Yeah, 15-5 was the final score. Wow. Big win for Kingston. Everybody got involved pretty much, and they did. Everyone got a hit for Kingston. And Dallas Bats, you had some multiple 3-hit games from Bruce and Perry, but I mean, when the whole team goes off for Kingston, not much you could do. Kagamine with the win. Bones with the loss. Yuppers. Let's go check out his stat line real quick. Yuppers. 3 for 5, 4 runs scored, 3 ribbies. Absolute dominant performance from the Kingston Bats. And they get the win on the road.
All right, and that takes us now to our final minors game for the sim day, and that is the Kingpins and the Bears. And the Bears winning this one, the score of 4-1, now moved to 7-3 on the season, 9 hits to 8. Looking at our batting here, looks like we have a couple multi-hit games on the Chicago end. Best one here looks like 2 RBIs though from Klukas over on the Brew City side. Chicago pitching, Dalcott getting their first loss of the season. For Brew City, Millis getting their first win. Was that Ecomenides their first hold, and the Pabst their first save. Player of the game is Mo Willis. And Willis, 5.0 innings pitched, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 81 pitches.
Hey, the Bears heard all the talk the past couple seasons. They were taking inventory on everything, having a really good start to the season. Would be interesting to see if they keep it up. Torkelton 2-0 on the year, undefeated. Nice outing for him. We'll check that out in a second. Supernovas though, big win at home, moving to 6-4. Fart hit a run-scoring triple. Frick Nasty, newly acquired player for Supernovas, former Scorpion. 2 ribbies for Sandwiches for San Antonio, and 2 for 3 for Jay Doctor, also newly acquired. Torkelton gets the win. Rayner gets the loss. Torkelton went 8 almost the whole game. Got pulled with an out left. Diglett getting the 1-out save in 6 pitches through 3 strikes and 3 balls. But Torkelton, 8.2, only gave up a lone run, 1 unearned, so 2 total. But Torkelton is your player of the game.
And that takes us to game number 2, the Apex. Apex winning here, now moving to 4-6 on the season, beating the Surge. Only 1 win now for the Surge in 10 games. 5-4 in this one. Both teams got a run in the 9th inning. 3 errors on the Apex side. Apex really racking up the errors so far this season. Let's see here. Buffalo batting on both sides. We have 2 runs, 2 hits from Sandy Taters. 3 RBIs from Suave. 2 RBIs from Slice. On the pitching end, Bobo Bones in relief takes their first loss. For Indianapolis, Barron taking their first win, and player of the game is Troen Nohans. Nohans, 7.2 innings pitched, no earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 119 pitches.
Apex score runs, they win. It's a fact. Stars, though, moved to 4-6, beating the Voyagers again at home, defending champs. Johnson had a dominant start, needed that for my fantasy team. We'll check that out in a second. But everybody reached base for Nashville. Congrats to you guys. Good team win. Hunter coming back from the dead with his batting average going to 3 for 4. Big day at the plate for Hunter. Johnson, wow, gets their first win. Choate picks up the loss, gave up 4. TJ gave up no runs in 7.1 innings, struck out 10 and got a walk. So that's huge for my fantasy team. Needed that big time.
Nice.
But yeah, player of the game.
All right, and that takes us now to the Aviators and the Sea Serpents. And Aviators getting their 8th win on the season now with a score of 7-0, a 5-hit shutout of the Sea Serpents. Looking at our batting here, looks like we had 2 hits, 3 RBIs from Linus Riverboat and 2 RBIs from Dub City. On the pitching end, Outer Banks, Justin Ripspod gets their 3rd win on the season. Greg Maddox Jr. getting their 2nd loss. And player of the game is Justin Ripspod. Ripspod, 8.2 innings pitched, almost pitched a whole game, just like the other game earlier. No earned runs, 12 strikeouts, 116 pitches. So Ripspod on fire in that game. Jeez.
Former Vandal.
Right? And let's see here. That takes us to this one.
Vandals dealing the Toros 7-1 win. 7-1 loss for the Toros. Moving to 6-4. 10 hits to 7. Looks like Cologne got in there in multiple ways. We'll check out his stat line. Went 2 for 5 with 3 ribbies. And Dan King went 2 for 4 with 3 ribbies. My boy Sessions went 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored.
Nice.
And Kaylee and the Rook went 3 for 4. So nice day for SD Core. McQuack with the loss. Digger Jr. I messaged him his link to his index earlier. A player of the game 1 earned run and 6.1. Look at that ERA, 0.47, 5 strikeouts. So I've been waiting patiently to have a breakout season, having one
This
so
is it.
far.
Yeah, and 3 starts.
Yeah.
That's nice. 3-0 and 3 starts.
One of our favorite streamers here in the PvE. If you don't know, he does the reverb on the home runs.
All right, and that takes us now to game number 6 on this sim day, and that is the Raptors and the Scorpions. And Raptors now moved to 500 on the season, beating the Scorpions here with the score of 6-4, 10 hits to 9, 2 errors on the Raptor side. Batting, we have 2 RBIs and a hit from Toot Bland, and a couple multi-hit games over there on the Death Valley side as well. Pitching for Boise, Vivi Zielman takes their second win, Matthew Paul their fourth hold, and Riddle their first save, with Death Valley's Herbie Farnworth taking their first loss. 1-1 now for Herbie. Player of the game is Bridget Westfall.
Reno Jackson, former Supernova, getting pog. Mako's rocked by the Roog, 12-0,
Ouch.
getting blanked. 8 hits, so those 8 hits just were probably spread out, not very timely. 5 ribbies for J.R. Cook, absolutely having a season. Valor picks up a ribby, moving to double digits on the season. Congrats to Valor. Against his former team, though, kind of rude. We'll go down to the pitchers. Salchicha taking the loss. Getty with the win. J.R. Cook, the co-GM of the Rougarou, 5 ribbies, 3 for 4. Someone slow this man down because
Wow.
he's having a season. Dude
Sure is.
can't be stopped.
And that'll take us to our final Majors game for this sim day, and that is the Demons and the Crabs. Demons now moving to 8-2 on the season. Getting a walk-off here, and it looks like Nicholson Dimes hit a walk-off run-scoring single versus Bart Muirley. So Muirley giving one up there late in the game. 2-1, 5 hits both sides. Multi-hit game from Lemon, and 2 hits, 2 RBIs from Nicholson Dimes. On the pitching end for Providence, Muirley takes the loss in relief. 1-1 now for them. Palmer gets their second win, and the player of the game is Ricky Vaughn. And Vaughn was my pick number 40 in the fantasy this season, so I'm surprised nobody took him at 1700 TPE. I'll take it. All right.
Yeah, I wanted to point out Palmer got walked off earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Comes into this game, and his team got the walk-off behind him. So, life's all about balance.
All right, and that finishes us off for this sim day. And our next game, feature game number 4, is going to be My Dynamos versus the Kingston Mounties. So we're gonna, first of all, I don't think there was any more stats from the team after that California game. Let me take a look here. Yeah, that was the last one from Rankle. So it looks like we don't have any stats for these last 2 games, but that's okay. We're going to pull up the matchups here, and while we're doing that, we'll let Nate get a prediction going for us. And let me, in fact, go ahead and cancel and do a file save here while I'm thinking about it. There we go. All right, and while the predictions are going, looks like we did not get a payout from the... Can you do a payout from the previous one?
I think he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
It says distributed. Okay, I didn't see that. We just hadn't started the next one yet. All right, so while we're waiting on Nate to get us a prediction going, taking a look at our matchups here. Looks like we have 3 Mounties, 3 Dynamos, and 3 ties here in the batting end, and a tie in pitching as well. So pretty much the closest matchup between 2 teams that we've had so far tonight, and pretty much in a long time. I haven't seen a 4.5 and 4.5 with a half in pitching in quite a few sims now. So I'm going to pull up to see. So it looks like we're doing total stolen bases here, and it's going to be over under 2.5 on this one. So Kay Faraday right now is probably one of the best base stealers in the league for the minors with 70 base steal stat. I don't think there's another 70 base stealer in the whole league. So at least for Faraday, we'll probably get at least 1 or 2 out of that. Let's see here. Who else? Juice Bruce is really high on base stealing. I know Picasso, I've raised the base. They're at 50 base stealing. and there was one other person. I want to say it was Jack Pine, I think it was, also had high base stealing as well. So 4 Dynamos with decent base stealing. I don't see any base stealing information over here on the other side, but I'm going to guess that probably with at least the ones on the Dynamos, we might get over on this one, but we'll see. Taking a look now to see if our it is closed now, and we have 84 at over 2.5% versus 16%, and it looks like we've got over 43,000 channel points put into this one. So a lot of big bets going into this match here with the Mounties and the Dynamos. And we're going to go and get started with Stand Up is going to be our number 1 batter starting off for the Mounties. And here we go. Here at Perpetual Park in Dallas. And this one's going to be a line drive up the middle, and Stand Up is going to get on base to start us off. Brizzo now, and Brizzo's going to fly out to right field. That'll be out number 1. Anita Fartinghouse. 1 on, 1 out. And looks like Anita got beaned. Yes, Anita got beaned, and Dirty Dog having some issues with control here, but they do get a strikeout for, and here comes Bark Bark Wolf Ruff, and Wolf Ruff is going to get a walk. Juices base now for Yuppers. Yuppers, who had the big game earlier, and Yuppers strikes out. And that leaves the side retired. 3 runners stranded as we now move to the bottom of the first. Dirty Dog able to get out of that one. And leading off here, Kay Faraday hits the second baseman. That is out number 1. McLaughlin will strike out, and now Juice Bruce. Juice Bruce in his last season in the minors now. And that one's hit to the second baseman. A 1-2-3 inning for the Dynamos. We now move to the top of the second. Mounties up again. Bottom third of the order here, and this is going to be a fly out to center field for Bryant. Bryant now drops in front of the right fielder, and Bryant's going to be on with the base hit. 1 on, 1 out for Cena Jr. Rob Cena Jr. past the second baseman. Runner going to third, and they're going to be safe. Runners at the corners, top of the order now for Stand Up. Stand Up, fly ball, center field, caught, and the runner does not go. What a throw by the center fielder to the relay to stop that runner. And this one hit right to the first baseman, and Brizzo gets thrown out, leaves runners stranded, and we now move to the bottom of the second. Dynamo's up. Andrew Berry, who had second in the MVP totals last season, is going to get us started with a base hit. Bot hitter Picasso is up, and they'll strike out. McGee now striking out. 2 outs, 1 on for Jack Pine. Pine to the first baseman, runs over, makes a tag, and we now move to the top of the third, still 0-0 with Hummuscott.
Nice little defensive pitching game we got going on here, folks. And that's a base hit from Anita Fartinghouse, sports fan who is here with us. Oh, and that's going to be a stolen base in there safely. So, Bay Bufflin gets the RBI. And that's going to be the first run scored of the game against Dirty Dog. That's going to be out number 2. That's going to be a line out from Wolf Ruff. And Nopers with the fly out for out number 2. Frank gets the base hit in center. And that's going to be 2 on, 2 out for Bryant. Bryant's going to score another run with a ribby. So it's 2-0 Mounties against the Dynamos. A 2-out magic here. That's a base hit from Cena Jr., who's back with us in the PBE. And that's going to be 3-0 Mounties. And a crazy 2-out rally from Kingston gives them a 3-0 lead. We'll go bottom of the third. Base hit. Oh, base hit for Spencer. Nice little flare according to the write-up. So fielder now. Center fielder makes the grab. And Kate Faraday, really fast, but grounds into a double play anyway. That's a 4-6-3 double play. We'll go top of the fourth. Kingston up 3. Ground out from Brizzo. Fartinghouse. Now 1 for 2 in the game. So Bufflin on an 0-1 count. Bufflin grounding out. It's a good inning for Dallas defense and pitching. McLaughlin for Dallas. Starting you off with a base hit. Juice Bruce now with Nobody out. It's a strikeout. So Andrew Barry, towering shot in center field, will fly out. So Scott Picasso, a fly out to end the bottom of the fourth. Still nothing doing for Dallas in terms of runs. So Kingston gets to bat again with the lead. Second baseman coming in for a nice out there for out number one. Yuppers. Nobody out. With nobody on, excuse me. That was a full count single. And a 3-0 walk for Frank Bryant now. Base hitting right. Will the run come across? They do. Sliding in head first. It's 4-0 Mounties. 2 on, 1 out. This is in the gap for Cena Jr. Cena Jr. is having a ball game. That's 3 for 3 now. Another ribby. It's 4-0 Mounties. Mount up in the chat. And a pop up, pop out for stand up. So 2 outs, 2 on for Brizzo, who lines out to the center fielder, but they score 2 runs. It's now 5-0 Mounties. Riddle McGee, that's a solo shot near dead center. That's 449 feet. Holy moly, Cena Jr. didn't even move according to the write-up.
Park.
And just like that, that helps. Riddle McGee taking that one almost 500 feet. A line out from Pine. Grounder Spencer, ground out. So 2 outs. Full count. Nobody on. Fielder striking out. So that solo shot helps, but you're still down 5-1. Farting House, though. Now moving to 2 for 3 on the game. Bufflin. Farting House. Just 3 stolen bases on the season for Farting House. After that one, Bufflin. Farting House lagged a bit. Decided to not run immediately, so stays at third. Oh, and that's a fly ball and left. This will probably be the 6th run for the Kingston Mounties. And it is. Throws nowhere near in time. It's 6-1. 1 out. And Yuppers flies out. Wolf Ruff with a nice sac fly, but Frank with 2 outs. Fielder's choice out at second. So here we go, bottom of the 6th. K. Faraday. Can't get anything going now. 0 for 3. McLaughlin on an 0-1 count. Rips one into right field. Getting that average even higher, almost 400. Juice Bruce pops out to the shortstop. So can hot hitter Andrew Barry do something? McLaughlin, 6 stolen base now. Nice steal. And they want to get the force out at third, second, and first, so they walk Barry, who's hot. Smart move. Picasso, will you bring home a runner? You do. It's 6-2. 2-out rally here for the Dynamos. Now Riddle McGee, who ripped one to center earlier, grounds out. And we'll go top of the 7th. Dallas scoring in each of the last 2 frames. Still down 4. Bryant, fly out. Out number 1. Cena Jr., who's perfect on the day. Make it even perfect-er. 4 for 4. My goodness. Stand up. The pop out to the shortstop. Brizzo striking out. Derek Yeater yeeting them a bit, but his team needs to yeet better. It's a 4-run deficit they got to overcome. It's out from Pine, who's cold now. Strikeout from Spencer. And a walk from Fielder. So 2 outs, 1 on. And Faraday lines out to the right fielder. We go top of the 8th LBG. Your Dynamos down 4.
Down by 4. Dynamos lost 12 players in this offseason between the call-ups and term limits from our inactives. So, brutal offseason for the Dynamos, and trying to do everything we can to scratch back into hopefully being into some sort of playoff form by All-Star game. We'll see. But right now, Mounties have a runner on with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Yuppers. And that's a pass ball. Runner going to second.
Bumble.
This one to the shortstop, goes across, makes the play, leaves the runner stranded. Bottom of the 8th we go. 6 outs remaining now for the Dynamos. Top of their order just about. McLaughlin strikes out looking. That'll bring up Juice Bruce and a pitching change here. Kyle Baller Jr. And that's going to be a base hit for Juice Bruce. And hot hitter Andrew Barry coming up now. Barry over the set. Whoa, what was that? The ball.
Double.
Ground rule double, yeah. It bounced right into the seats. Jeez. 2 runners in scoring position now. And we'll get a strikeout here from Picasso, and that'll bring up McGee. McGee, 2 on, 2 out. McGee, the tapper. Catcher throws to first, gets the out, leaves 2 runners stranded. 1 inning to go, up by 4, Mounties. Bottom third of their order, and we're going to get a strikeout here for Rennick. Bryant will take a walk, and now Rob Cena Jr. Cena Jr. striking out, still 1 on, top of the order for stand up. Up to the third baseman. Gets the force play at second, and that'll retire the side. Last chance here for the Dynamos. Bottom third of their order. Pine, Spencer, and Fielder. Cold hitter Pine first. Pine strikes out looking. Spencer up. Spencer to the shortstop. Makes the play. Last out coming up. Fielder.
There we go.
King Fielder. Fielder to the second baseman, makes the play, and the Kingston Mounties are going to beat the Dallas Dynamos here with a score of 6-2, 14 hits to 8. Taking a look at our batting here, a couple of multi-hit games. The best one here, though, by far, Rob Senior Jr., 4 for 5 with 2 RBIs. A couple multi-hit games for the Dynamos as well. Kingston pitching, Kagamine gets their first win of the season with Walrus their first save and Dirty Dog their second loss. Player game is Lynn Kagabine. And let's see here. That takes us to this one.
Hepcats upending the Lemurs 5-4. So trading wins. They not up the record 6-5. Remember, there are no divisions in the minor league system. They look like divisions on paper, but every team is put up against each other in 6 wild card spots. Let's see, 3 for 5 for Bobby McDonald Jr., 2 for 4 for Thurgood Sassafras III, 2 ribbies for Dracula, Count Dracula. Bird Whistle with the win for KC. Crimps getting the loss. Lincoln Bird Whistle of the Hepcats, undefeated, went 6.2, gave up a run, is your player of the game. O'Sullivan getting the save as well. So good team win for the defending champs.
And that takes us to the Firehawks and the Swifties. And Firehawks win this one in extra innings, going to the bottom of the 10th. Sloseko hit a walk-off solo home run versus Perry. So Sloseko helping out their team to secure the win for the Firehawks. 10 hits to 7, 3 errors total in this one. Looking at our batting here, only single-hit games for the Swifties, but I do see 2 hits and 2 RBIs for Sloseko on the other side. Pitching for State College, T2 getting their second blown save, Singh their first blown save, Perry takes their first loss 1-1, Branson their first win and first blown save on the other side for California, and Josh Maxson gets player of the game, 8.1 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 112 pitches. So even with 5 earned runs, still got player of the game.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that one. Cheap, a good game for Cali. Dillo's turning away the Wheelers 5-4. Dillo's moving to 5-6. A lot of 5s. 4 ribbies though for Mo. A 2 for 3 for Funny Man. 2 for 4 for Marquise the fourth. 4 earned runs for French. Huff with the win. LGM with the hold. Chartoppelhauser with the save. Mikey Mo, love that name. Your Pog had those 4 ribbies. So you thought you were going to get me with that name, Chartoppelhauser.
And that takes us to our final minor sim game for today, and that is the Kingpins and the Bears. Kingpins winning and tying now record 7-4 now with the Bears with this win. 11-4. They got 3 in the top of the 9th there. 15 hits to 9. Looking at our batting here, it looks like we have 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs from Hokenvettel. Hokenvettel with a great game there. 2 hits, 2 RBIs from Stevie Steve on the other side. Chicago pitching, Bell taking their second win for Bruce City. DeWright, their first loss of the season. And player of the game is Shumi Hokenvettel. And I guess we covered this one?
No, we did not. Kingpins mowing down the Mares 11-4, moving to 7 wins on the season, tying the same record as Bruce City. The top of the 5th was pretty wild, scoring 6. Chicago did. So it looks like everybody did work for the Kingpins bats. 4 ribbies for Hokenvettel. 2 ribbies for Steve. DeWright with the loss. Inkerbell with the win. Wildfire Micro. Shumi Holkenvettel is your player of the game.
And now on to the majors. No majors games for today, so that's going to finish off this sim day of the 2nd of May. Pulling up my schedule here. Looks like we have 2 quick sim days, and then we'll have.
We did do that twice. I wasn't paying attention when you did it.
Oh, okay, no problem. We have 2 quick sim days now, and so we're going to go ahead and finish those out. And then our final game of the night is going to be a featured game versus the Bears and the Hepcats. That should be a very interesting one with both of them having winning records right now. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next sim day, the 3rd of May, and just check here. We do have a full ballot here, majors and minors games, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the Vandals and the Aviators. Aviators winning this one, the score of 6-3, now moved to 9-2 on the season. 2 errors on their side, but they're still able to hold on. Batting wise, 3 hits, 2 RBIs for Shidurmi. Over on the other side, 3 RBIs for Dub City. Pitching wise for Vancouver, Takahashi takes their 2nd loss. For Outer Banks, Bob Beaumont gets their 3rd win. Domingo Pozo their 3rd hold, and Ben Caden their 2nd save. Player of the game is Geronimo Shidurmi.
Daily befuddles Providence 1-0 win. Jeez Louise. A classic pitchers duel. We could probably skip the batters, even though Beecham had 2 hits. Shout out to Jess, who's with us tonight. Daly went the distance. A complete game shutout. Only gave up 3 hits and 4 walks. Voss went 6.1, only gave up a run, having a really good season. But Chank Daly went a complete game. First win on the season. That's one way to get your first win. Is your player of the game.
And that takes us now to our next game, and the Makos on a major skid here as they now go 1-10 on the season, with the lowly Buffalo Surge getting their 2nd win on them, 2-9 now. So battle of the bottom 2 teams here in the league. The score of 7-4, 14 hits to 7 in favor of the Surge. Looking at our batting here, several multi-hit games here, several multi-RBI games. Meredith, Finreese, and Diamondo both with 2 RBIs each. 3 hits for Nakia on the other side. Pitching-wise for Maui, Knight Rider, no decision. Omega takes their 1st loss and blown save as well. Over on the Buffalo side, Law with their 1st win in relief. Hold from McKinnon and Graves getting their 1st save. Player of the game is Philip Stein.
Voyagers winning 9-0 against the Sloths, who moved to 4-7. Voyagers above 500 now. Blanking the Sloths. So check out the Voy Boys bats. Menard coming back for another season. Went 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored. The veteran. 3 ribbies for Josh Stevenson as well. Tokiyami with the win. Greer with the loss. And Tokiyami is your player of the game, who's having a freaking season.
And that takes us to game number 5 on this sim day, and that is the Stars and the Sea Serpents. And Stars winning here, almost at 500 now, at 5-6 on the season. 13-3 in this one, 13 hits to 6. Taking a look at our batting here, several multi-hit games, but by far the best one here is going to be Bongo Lulongo going 2 for 4 with 2 runs and 4 RBIs. Was that a home grand slam? Yes, Bongo Lulongo getting a grand slam home run in that game. Congratulations to Rabbit Sponge. Looking at our pitching here, Harry Balls takes their 1st loss of the season. For Nashville, Koromochi their 1st win, and Cletus McFlorida Man their 2nd save. Player of the game is Bongo Lulongo. Grand slam.
Supernovas winning 6-1. This team gave us fits last season, but good to get the 1st win against them. 12-4. Doubled them up on errors, but still got the win anyway. Red Arrow had a good game. 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored, 2 ribbies. 2 for 4 for Junie Panda. Middle of the order for Cancun, all getting a hit. Shifty having a freaking season, 2-0 now. Diglett getting the hold, and 3 innings with no runs given up. That helps your ERA. Lemon with the loss, having a good season regardless. Shifty Lagusto, 5.1, one earned run, 10 strikeouts in 5.1. Wow. A good game from Shifty.
And that takes us to our next game, the Scorpions and the Demons. And the Demons winning here, going now 9-2 on the season, with a score of 8-2 over the Scorpions, 9 hits to 4. On the batting end here, only single hit games for Death Valley. On the Detroit end, looks like we have 3 RBIs from Scott Poe, and 3 RBIs and 3 RBIs also from Yelnats. Pitching for Death Valley, Ratatouille getting their first loss of the season. Kid Carsey, their first win, and player of the game is Kid Carsey. Kid Carsey, 7.0 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 99 pitches.
The Rougarou beating the Apex 6-3 on the road. Rougarou also moving to 9 wins. DiStefano Jr. with 2 hits, as well as Cook. Mouse went 2 for 5, not having a good season, was throwing jabs at me in the chat, but hey, if one of us can do it, so can you. Brew 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, and by this I mean be bad. Maple with the loss, went 2 innings, gave up 3. Nakamura got the win, 43 got the save, second on the year, but 6 pitchers used by the Apex is not good for your stamina. Nakamura is your player of the game. So the Rougarou getting a win on the road.
And that takes us now to the minors and the Firehawks and the Swifties. Firehawks winning this one, going 8-4 now in the season with a score of 4-3. Only got 6 hits, but was still able to hold on. 3 errors on the Swifty side. Batting wise, 4 for 4 from Dordovic. On the other end, looks like 2 hits, 2 runs from Boji. Pitching wise for State College, Iwasawa taking their first loss of the season. Thompson, their second win, and Makonal, their second save. Player of the game is Baden Buji.
Sanders excels 7-5 in Anchorage win. So Anchorage getting the win at home, moving to 4-8 on the season. Oh wow, look at everybody. Sanders had 4 hits and 2 hits for Jimenez, Krapokrasov, and Funny Man. 3 hits for McElreath, 2 hits for Hawkins of the Dillos, 3 hits for someone on the Dillos. That was the batter. Master got the start. Shigeno got the win in relief. Mrazek gets the loss and the blown save. Josh Sanders, though, is your player of the game.
Game number 3 in the minors, the Dynamos and the Mounties, and Dynamos lose again, getting swept by the Mounties here with a score of 10-13. Dynamos putting up a bunch of points on the board, but it was not enough here. 33 hits total in this one. Wow, very high scoring game here. Taking a look at our batting, several 3-hit games as well. Dupp, Brizzo, Fartinghouse, Bifugin getting 4 RBIs as well. Over on the Dallas side, 5 for 6 from McLaughlin. 3 hits, 2 RBIs for McGee. On the pitching end for Kingston, Parsons in relief gets the win, Walrus the hold, and this dude the save, or throwing dude the save, I should say. On the other end for Dallas, Williams gets their first hold, Ranto Moon their first loss and blown save. And player of the game is Babe Bifugian. I hope I'm saying that right.
Bufflin,
excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Bufflin. Yeah. Dennis McLaughlin ties the Dallas regular season game record for hits with 5. All right, game 4.
Lowville Lemurs winning 4-2 against the defending champs. What a good series this was. Thurgood, Sassafras hit a solo shot late. Oh, not late, early, bottom of the 3rd. That was a big one. 3 for 4, Sassafras went. So did Batter of the Lemurs. De Batista went 2 for 4, and Fens went 2 for 3. So we'll check out pitching. Junk Ball with the win, Triplet with the save, Schultz with the loss, Jeremiah Junk Ball going 7 innings, one earned, is your player of the game.
And our final minors game for this sim day is the Kingpins and the Bears. And Kingpins winning here over the Bears, moving now to 8-4 in the season with a score of 4-0, a 6-hit shutout. Looking at our batting, looks like we had a couple multi-hit games here, but the best one's going to be, who is this here? Radiance Ham. Radiance Ham, 2 for 4 with 2 runs, RBI, and a walk. On the pitching end, the T-Rex getting their second win. McNamerson, their first loss, and player of the game is Mitch the T-Rex. Mitch the T-Rex, 7.0 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, 84 pitches. So that finishes us off for the quick sims for this day, the 3rd of May. We're going to move on now to the 4th of May. And there are no minors matches for today, but there are majors ones. So we're going to go ahead and let Hummus do this one for the Vandals and the Aviators.
Vandals, OBX winning at home, scoring all of those pretty early. A nice game for Geist, who went 3 for 3. Nice game for McMuffin, who went 2 for 2 with 2 walks. We'll check out Halen had 2 ribbies as well. Nice game for the 5-time All-Star. Pitching wise, let's see. Funk, another great outing. Got the win. Rogers with the loss. Funk, another player of the game. Now 2-0 on the year, gave up 2 and 5.2 innings of work. So check out that ERA. We know it's early, but keep an eye on Ray's Funk for pitcher of the year.
All right.
As we move throughout the season.
And that takes us to game number 2, the Raptors and the Crabs. Raptors winning here, now moving above 500 with a record of 7-5. A score of 7-3 here, 7 hits to 2. And it looks like we got a donation or something here. Let's see here. Saturday Scorpion is now following. Thank you very much, Saturday Scorpion. We really appreciate it. Welcome to the PBE. Batting wise for Boise, 2 RBIs each from Rodriguez and Terry. On the Providence end, 2 hits, 2 RBIs from Hardin Long. Pitching wise for Boise, in relief, Matthew Paul getting their first win of the season. Tachibana for Providence taking their second loss. And player of the game is Cade Tachibana. Tachibana, 7.0 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 88 pitches. Jeez.
Mako's another loss, now moving to 1-11. Buffalo winning 7-2. Big game from Finn Reese, had 3 hits. Multi-hits from Dawson Jr., Nikia, and Katsup, as well as Spanberg and Suave. We'll check out the pitchers. Bellinger Jr., nice start, gets the win. Baldelli takes the loss for Maui. Svanberg is your player of the game. So the Surge getting the 3rd win.
All right, and game number 4, the Sloss and the Voyagers, and the defending World Series champion Voyagers win this one with a score of 12-0, a 2-hit shutout over the Sloss. Taking a look at our batting here, New York multi-hit game. Look at this one, 4 for 5 with a run scored and 2 RBIs from Kirk Swerve. I saw Kirk Swerve in the channel earlier. Congratulations, Kirk Swerve. What a game. Several multi-hit games for a lot of Voyagers, though. Pitching, Ryan Rose takes their first loss of the season for San Antonio. For New York, Miller getting their second win, and Max Miller is your player of the game. 8.0 innings pitched, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 90 pitches.
Sea Serpents lose the Stars on a walk-off. Wow. Scoring 4 in the bottom of the 9th, the Stars did. Jimmy Smith hitting a walk-off 3-run shot against Scoochie Dart, who was a former Supernova. Made a trade before the season. Multiple hits for a lot of folks for Nashville. Rose, Booswell, Johnson, and Smith had 3. Fullman, Dowd, Bunty, Winters, Campbell, all with multiple hits as well. Baxter got the start. Sigripper with the win. Homie with the hold. DeMarco with the hold. Higgins with the hold. Dart with the loss and the blown save. And Jimmy Smith, the walk-off hero for the Stars, is your player of the game.
And on the next game here, the Supernovas and the Toros. And Supernovas, wow, 17-4 over the Toros here in this one. 18 hits to 7. Supernovas with the offensive explosion here. Let's take a look at our batting. 5 for 6 with 3 runs and 6 RBIs for Red Arrow. Red Arrow, wow. 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs from Torrent as well. 4 for 5 from Crashwagon. 4 runs scored from J-Doctor. A lot of big games, 3 hits each for Dominic and Junie Panda. So all the way down the line, Sarasota having some great batting there in this game. Cancun pitching, Callaway Flowers taking their second loss of the season. Austin Bentley getting the win, 1-2 now for the season. 7.1 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts, 102 pitches for Bentley. And player of the game is Red Arrow. Red Arrow ties the champions regular season game record for hits with 5. So Red Arrow having an amazing season right now.
Boom, boom, boom. Make my heart go zoom, zoom, zoom.
And
Demons winning 6-1.
Hummus Stinky Invalid Thank you. Okay. Who made up that name?
Wait, what happened?
Somebody just followed with the. Let me pull up the channel list here and see if I can find that name here.
Demons winning 6-1. Galvin with a big win, moving out of the pen into the rotation. Yeah, while you're doing that, I'll look at this box score. Scott Poe getting that average up, hitting 111, which is not good. Dinkle hit a solo shot, who's hitting 239, but got 14 ribbies. 2 hits for Dylan Hodge of DBS. Galvin with the win. Morgan with the loss. Palmergate had a scoreless outing in 2 innings, but Galvin, who went 7 innings, only gave up a run, is your player of the game.
Well, apparently they did a drive-by follow because they're not in the channel anymore, but
they wanted that to pop up.
Right, that was all they were there for.
Yeah, Hummustinky India lead. Get the bleep out of here.
And our final game for this quick sim day, the Apex and the Rougarous. An Apex win here, the score of 13-1. 13-1. Wow, 13 hits to 4. Rare big loss for the Rougarous. 12 runs differential in this one. Taking a look at our batting, only single hits on the New Orleans side. 3 runs, 3 hits for Zach Mouso. 3 RBIs for Dustin Parmalee. 3 RBIs for Sailor Twift as well. 4 RBIs for Franco. Was that a grand slam? Yes, a grand slam for Wonder Franco there for the Apex. Pitching-wise for New Orleans, Mazeroski taking their first loss of the season. For Indianapolis, Dion getting their second win, 2-1 for them, and Michael Dion is your player of the game. 6.0 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, 85 pitches. And that finishes us out for the majors for this sim day. So that leaves us with just 1 sim day remaining now, and we're going to move on and do that one, and it is going to be, whoops. Let's see here. The Bears versus the Hepcats. So, Nameless Nate, what do you think would be a good prediction here for this one? We'll let you get that one going while we pull up the stats on this matchup. All right, here we go. So we have 5 for the Hepcats, 3.5. 5.5 for the Hepcats, 3.5 for Brew City, and a tie in pitching. So, wow, just a slight advantage here for the Hepcats in this one. And while that's going on, let's pull up our... guess we don't have a prediction. Let's see here. Is Nate still here?
Yeah, we got a prediction going.
All right, there it goes. All right, and we have total runs scored, and it looks like it's going to be 10.5 is the over-under in this one. Right now we have 92% for over, and somebody just dumped 1,000 points into under. Still pretty even right here, 49 to 51.
I'm putting all my points, 1,100 points on the over.
And somebody just put in 30,000 points on over, and now we're at 91% to 9. Somebody dropped in 4,000 on the under and 9,000 on under extra. So now we are at 50,000 almost here in our total. Over 50,000 now. 60,000. 63,000 right now. 64,000 total.
Over 6 million being thrown around here in this game. You love to see it on minor league night.
And there we go. Prediction has finished, and we are at 67 to 33%. So a 2-to-1 ratio here in channel points with the over being the advantage. Now let me just see real quick if we did get something from the stats team while I was looking away. No, we do not have any new stats. So we're going to go ahead and move on here to the start of our game, and Brew City is going to be up first with Jimmy Olsen. Now before I do that, let me just make sure I do this real quick. There we go, and we'll come back down here and pull this one up. And off we go. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. Jimmy Olsen, our first batter up. Predictions are in, and off we go. Brew City up first. Pitcher comes set, and the throw, and that's going to be hit in the gap in center. And Jimmy Olsen, who had a leadoff hit in the earlier game for the Bears, gets a leadoff here as well. And that's a base hit as well for Sosa. 2 on now. No outs. Wolf, towering shot center field. That is caught. Runner thought about tagging, but went back. Stevie Steve now. Stevie Steve striking out. Still 2 on for Klukas. Klukas, 2 on, 2 out. Hit down the left field side, and we're going to have Juices based here. 2 outs. McGruff, towering shot towards center field, but that will be able to be caught, and that will retire the side, leaving all 3 runners stranded. Kansas City up now. And that's a towering shot towards right center field, and that is out of here. And just like that, Santana Cruz getting on the board.
Out of the
And that's going to put KC up now 1-0. And this is a tapper to the shortstop, and Batista gets thrown out. McDonald Jr. now. And this will be a fly out and foul territory right side, and that's going to be 2 outs. And this will be a fly out to center field for Rodica Scott IV, and that will retire the side now to the top of the second. 1-0 Kansas City. Brew City Bears trying to get something going here, and that's going to be a fly out to center field for Underrated. Lux, towering shot, and it's just over the fence, and just like that, 1 gets put up on the board, and it is now 1-1. Number 9 hitter Riley down to the second baseman, throws across, makes the play. 2 outs now, top of the order. And this is through the gap in center, and Jimmy Olsen again getting another base hit. 2 for 2 now for Olsen. And a strikeout for Sosa, and that'll retire the side, leaving Olsen stranded. Bottom of the second now, 1-1. And that looked like a walk here. Yes, a walk for Slokening, and now Justice. And this is going to be a fly out to center field. Runner does not tag. Cold hitter Count Dracula now. Dracula towards right field, and that will be caught. Runner stays at first. 2 outs now for Ortega. Ortega striking out, leaving the runner stranded. We now move to the top of the third, 1-1 with Hummuscott.
And Jabs on Twitch is the new Twitch username for J.A. Jabs. And that's a ground out from W.R. Wolf, Phillies fan new player. Steve, ground out. So 2 outs for Klukas. Fly out. Hummus Stinky Indie Elite is in the chat, by the way. For those who were wondering where they went, they're back. That's a strikeout from Fens on a 2-2 count. Cruz, Baby You a Song. You maybe want to put my windows down and cruise back to the dugout. That's a grounder. Ground out from Vlad Batista. So they go down in order. McGruff. And that's a strikeout looking Underrated. That was awful. Properly rated, that was a fly out. Janice Lux, excuse me, goes down with the ground out. So Bobby McDonald Jr. Getting robbed of a base hit from McGruff. And the base hit from Scott the fourth. Grounder 6-4-3 double play. So nice defensive pitching work, teamwork by the Brew City Bears. Riley striking out, swinging. And that's in the gap for Olsen. Olsen sliding in for a double.
3 for 3 now.
Maybe part of the Olsen trio, not the twin. Strikeout from Sosa. So 2 outs, 1 on for Wolf, who grounds out. All-star Janice Lux. Wow. Excuse me, I messed that up big time. Justice with the strikeout. Count Dracula needs to summon some inner powers there, and does. Scary with that single. Grounder. 5-4-3 double play. The Bears infield having a night.
Nice.
Still a tie game. Under looking real good for the betters. And that's misjudged by Ortega and left. Steve gets the hit. They scored it as a hit. And a fly out from Klukas in center for out number 1. McGruff over the center fielder's head. Will the runner come all the way around the horn? And they'll park at third. So both runners in scoring position to try to help this over bet. Underrated. That's deep in right field near the warning track, but it's going to be caught. And the runner stays. Interesting. strategy from Steve. Lux, great strategy because Lux brings home both runners. 2-out rally for Brew City. So good decision. Don't risk it if you're really slow. Risk getting thrown out, and it helped. And that ground out ends the inning, but that 2 RBI hit from Lux helps Brew City get a 3-1 lead. Ooh, nice play at third,
Wow.
but defense got the speed, beating out the throw, getting the infield single. And a fly out from Cruz. Batista striking out looking. McDonald Jr. pushing one in right field, having a season. So runners on the corners for Scott the fourth, who draws a walk. Wow, that was a 4-pitch walk. Oh, that's deep in right field for Slokening. That's a grand salami, first of the night
Nice.
on stream. Wow, 394 feet. And they go from being
Out
down
of
2
the
to up
park.
2. A full count grand salami for Slokening. Now the score is 5-3 Hebcats.
Overs only
This has
need
been
3
a
more.
crazy game. Yeah, that over looking real good now off of that crazy 2-out grand salami, and that will end the inning with the fly out. Olsen grounding out for out number 1 for Brew City. Sosa, they love Sosa, grounds out. WR Wolf grounding out. They go down in order, stunned after that salami of last inning. Fresh salami. And Dracula striking out. Tried to check the swing, but did not fool the ump. And that's out number 2. From Ortega, defense. Remember, defense got speed. Grounder, nope. So both 2 runners on for Batista, who lays one in center field. So juice is based for the Junior. Junior, it was high, but not
didn't
long
have the
enough.
distance, yeah.
Nope. So that will end the inning, and we'll go top of the 8th.
And middle of the order here for Brew City, and that's going to be a base hit for Stevie Steve. Klukas to the shortstop, has no play. That's an infield single. And this one's to the gap in center, and now we're going to have Juice's based here. Underrated. Here we go, underrated. Juice is based. And that's a base hit past the shortstop. This could score 2 here. Here comes 1. Here comes 2. No, the throw's in time. But they do get 1. Runners at first and second now. 4-5. Overs need 2 more runs. And this might be 1 more. Here it comes. And the throw. And the overs just need 1 more now.
This game is crazy chaos.
1 out. 2 on. Riley. And Riley's going to fly out to right field. And that's going to retire this. Oh, no, excuse me. That was the second out. And this one to the third baseman. Going to get the force out at second. And here we go. Bottom of the 8th. 5-5. Tie game here. And this is a towering shot towards left field. Going towards the warning track. But that is caught for out number 1. Kansas City trying to pull ahead here. And that's going to be a gap hit through center. And Slokening is going to get on. And
What? What a throw!
Oh, they got him. They got him a second,
got
trying to be greedy there. And that one is caught by the left fielder, and that will retire the side. 9th inning. Here we go, and looks like we have another follow here. Let's see here. QQ Wist, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the PBE. This one's going to be a fly out to left field to start us off. And Brew City Bears have Wolf up now. Wolf, and almost the same play towards left field. Another fly out for out number 2. Stevie Steve now. 2 outs to the third baseman. Throws across, makes a play. 1-2-3 they go. Last chance here unless we go to extra innings. Can Kansas City get a walk-off? Bottom third of their order, and we're going to get a strikeout here from Count Dracula. Ortega now. Ortega, and that's a tapper right in front of the home plate. Catcher throws that one away. Last chance pitching change here for defense. Diamond Arms coming in. And they're going to get him out at first, and now we go to extra innings. Tied 5-5, 10th inning with Humascott.
Here we go. More extra innings, more free baseball for you tonight, folks in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Strikeout from Slender Klukas. This is the minor league PBE. 1 out. Nobody on for McGruff, who drops one in left field, so leading run at first. Oh, that's hit hard, but caught.
What a
the
catch.
Line out in left field. Lux with 2 outs. Lux drops one in right for a base hit. Leading run and scoring position for Paris Riley.
And it looks like the
Paris-
overs are going to win here regardless because they need
Yeah,
to.
'cause someone has to score.
Yeah.
And that will end the top of the 10th. So will I call another walk-off? You got your top of the order coming up, so this is the time to do it. I made a song reference earlier that got flamed for, and cruising to first with an infield single. Batista flying out to right for out number 1. McDonald Jr. winning run on first, keeping tabs. But McDonald Jr. lines out for out number 2, and a strikeout from Scott the fourth. Will go top of the 11th LBG.
Top of the order for the Bears. Olsen, who's had a great game so far, 3 for 4, I think, and that is a walk now. Sosa. And Sosa walk as well, and we've got big trouble here for the Hepcats. Will Tig O'Sullivan be staying in for this one? Yes. Oh, no, they switched out, and even the replacement, Patio Furniture, gives a walk. And now we have Juice's base, no outs. And finally, a strikeout here. And Brew City Bears trying to get something going. Infield playing in this one. Pitcher goes home.
They got him.
And they got him at home. Being able to hold on here. Still Juice's base, 2 outs. And they'll walk home a run. And just like that, the Bears take the lead here, 6-5. Underrated, Juice's base. Here we go. Underrated over the third baseman's head. And then here comes 1, here comes 2. And Underrated going to get a 2 RBI single here. Still 2 on, 2 out. And this one's going to drop behind the right fielder. This is going to score another 2, it looks like. Yes, Here comes this next one. And they got him out at third. Did they score the second runner, though? They did. They did. It's now 10-5. Yeah. 5 runs in that inning for Brew City. And that's going to be the first out here for Kansas City. Justice is up now with 1 out. To the third baseman, throws all the way across for out number 2. This is it. Count Dracula. Down by 5. 2 outs. And Count Dracula strikes out. And just like that, the Brew City Bears hold on in extra innings. 11 innings. Getting 5 runs in the top of the 11th to get season total now of 8 wins and 5 losses. Beating the Kansas City Hepcats 10-5, 18 hits to 10. So congratulations to the overs. It was 50,000, 60,000 channel points in that one. So a lot of people made some good channel points, be able to cash in on some PBE cash. Taking a look at our batting lineup here for Brew City. Several multi-hit games here, but the best one by far, look at this, Lux. 5 for 6 with a run scored and 6 RBIs, including that grand... No, it wasn't. Was it? No. Okay, so all RBIs without the grand slam there. It was only a single hit home run, so 5 RBIs just from the hits themselves. Pitching in for Brew City, Diamond Arms getting their first win in relief. Turbo their first blown save. O'Sullivan their first loss. Player of the game is Janice Lux. Janice Lux sets the Brew City Bears regular season extra inning game record for hits with 5. So congratulations to the Bears in that one. And now we'll move on to the rest of our scores here.
Living vicariously through Underrated, I feel like if he makes the Hall, I deserve also a little Hall of Fame insignia on my profile. What a game for Underrated. Kingpin's winning, though, 4-2 at home against the Dillos. Fun little mini rivalry here. Two of the class of the minor leagues past few seasons. 2 for 4 from McCoy, 2 for 4 from McGee as well, and Shapiro and Hawkins. Let's see. Luciano with the win, Rogers with the hold, Mixon with the save, Daig with the loss. Daig, in a losing effort, is your player of the game, gave up 4 and 6 innings of work.
And that takes us to our next game, the Firehawks and the Dynamos. And Dynamos continue their slide here, now 2-11 on the season. Firehawks winning with the score of 8-7. Real close one here. 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th for the Dynamos was not enough. 5 errors total here in this one. California batting. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 RBIs from Stern. 4 RBIs. Who was that? From Rodriguez. And let's see here. Rodriguez, 3-run home run. So not a grand slam, but did get 3 runs on that one. Pitching wise for California, Cillians getting their third win. McThornbody, their third save, and Gene Belcher taking their third loss for Dallas. Player of the game is Sawyer Stern. No, we saw that one.
Yeah, we did. That was a crazy one. Glad we got to see that. Wheeler's dropping off the Swift Steeds 4-3. I'm moving to 5-8 on the season. You know, Gurin's going to love that against Beaver. 3-4 for Kripokrisov. Evok's new player. Great game. 2-4 for Elroy. Let's see. 3-4 for Zay Johnson. 3-5 for Will Love for State College. Checking out the pitchers. A lot of pitchers used. Perry with the loss. Taylor with the win. ER with the hold. Rizzo with the save. Jimenez. Oliver Jimenez. I didn't even see. Can we see their stats on? Jimenez went 2-3 with 2 ribbies and a run scored as your player of the game for the Wheelers.
And that takes us to our final minor league sim for tonight. And look at this, another extra inning game, going 12 innings in this one. The Lemurs scored 4 in the top of the 12th, and that was enough that they needed. 16 hits to 10. Looking at our batting here, 3 hits, 2 runs, 4 RBIs for O'Sullivan. 2 runs, 2 hits for Anita Fartinghouse, and 3 hits for Yuppers. On the pitching end for Louisville, in relief, Julian getting their first win and first blown save, and Crack getting their first save. On the other end, throwing Bud for Kingston taking their second loss in relief. Lump O'Sullivan is your player of the game. And that finishes us out for the minors. Now moving on to major scores, and we have no major scores for today. So guess what? That is it for tonight's sim, everybody. Let me go ahead and do a save game, and we're going to upload. Actually, first, before we do that, let's take a look at the standings here for the PBE. Right now, Aviators at 10-2 over on the Legends East. 3 games back are the Voyagers, 5 back are the Crabs, 7 back are the Surge. On the other side, on the Legends West, the Raptors leading right now 7-5. 1 game back are the Vandals, 3 games back are the Sloths, and the Makos are 6 games back. So if we were to look at the wild card here, for right now, still pretty even, except for the Makos down here who have slid pretty far away from the rest of the teams. Looking at the champion side over here, Detroit Demons also 10-2 now to start the season. Supernovas are 2 back, Nashville Stars are 4 back, and the Apex are 5 back. Over in the Champions West side, the Rougarous are leading 9-3 in their division. Scorpions are 3 back, Sea Serpents are 4 back, and Toros are 5 back. So pretty similar here on this side, other than the Makos being well far down from the others. Looks like it's a lot more closer over here. The Apex, even at 5-7, even at 4-8 here, the Toros still only 2 games back from a potential wildcard spot. Still only 2 sims in on the season, so it's still real early. But yeah. All right, taking a look now at the minors standings. We have the Firehawks right now, who are 9-4 in the West. The Bears are 1 back, 3. Actually, let's just look at the wild cards. So those don't even matter. Kingpins right now, 9-4, tied with the Firehawks at 9-4. The Bears are at 8-5. Lemurs at 8-5. 7-6 for the Swifties. 6-7 for the Mounties and the Hepcats. 5-8 for the Wheelers and the Dillos, and the Dynamos way back there at 2-11. So both leagues, both the major and the minor leagues, only except for a couple teams, it's still pretty competitive all the way across the board for both leagues. So that's really good to see after 2 sims out of the season so far. So I'm just going to do a file save here, and we're going to get uploaded to the index. Let me just check my settings real quick. Those 2 are checked. First and third line here should be checked. Those 2 are checked. I should have 3 check marks here. There we go. And off we go. So, very interesting games. A lot of records being broken tonight. Walks, hits, runs, all sorts of stuff. So, really good night for a lot of players. Still very close together in the grouping of pretty much 90% of the teams in both leagues. So I do expect, especially with the amount of parity that there is now in the majors, Especially in the division that the Apex and the Demons are in. I think that's really going to be the one to watch this season. It was the one to watch last season. There was only a few games difference between them, but especially this season, Apex really was in the lead last season. But because of some of the trades that they did, they have slid down a little bit. But I still do think that they are competitive enough to be able to give the Supernovas and the Demons a real run for the money. So we'll just have to see
And
how
Stars
that goes.
too.
The
Stars.
yes.
I was telling our locker room tonight. The Stars went 10-2 against the Supernovas last season. Supernovas got to hope you got to get that record better in your own division. You can't because the Supernovas also went 6-4 against the Toros. So when you have your own division team spanking you like that, and then you couldn't take care of business that well against the worst team in the league. Tonight, Supernovas took care of business against the Toros. Struggled against the Sea Serpents. Seattle last season as well gave us fits. But yeah, that division is definitely going to be one to watch. Demons definitely the overarching team currently. Have 9-1 in their last 10 games. So riding a really hot start. Attributing to that is their pitching for sure. Got one of the best pitching staffs in the league. Hummus Stinky Indie Elite, not true, whoever that is. Meeting in my office tomorrow at 4:15.
Oh.
But no, that was a great. Whoever that is, I have a lot of respect for that. That was really funny.
So,
Raid. Who are we raiding?
FK and Commish is up right now.
Love that, former Swiftie. I got love for our boy FKN running the MLB.
So, just to remind everybody, I have signed up for 2 consecutive streams this season. I'll be doing the stream tonight and the one tomorrow as well. So Hummus and I will be on tomorrow's stream, but also we have special guest Rabbit Sponge. So I've been really looking forward to that. Used to really enjoy being on with Rabbit Sponge back in the old days, so it'll be nice having them back on PB streams with us. So yeah. Having 3 hosts is always better than 2, I think. Being able to give everybody a little bit more time to rest between having to call plays and that sort of thing. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, we're just now in the middle of the first week. Still a long ways of the season to go. But I also wanted to take a second here to thank 209 Tacos. 209 Tacos, if you notice there at the bottom of the screen, created custom logos now for all the streamers, including their name of their player and their render as well, and the team listed in the background of their picture. I did get one at the very last minute from 209 Tacos that had Hummus's God's head on the right-hand side rather than the left to try and match it up so they were both parallel from each other. But I did not have time to get that one in. I'll get that one in for tomorrow. But I wanted to thank 209 Tacos for all the hard work that they've done with our graphics this season and also the past several seasons. One thing I wanted to talk about with everybody is when I started streaming here back in season 11, we had a very small sim team. Very small group of people. If somebody had signed up for a stream and they weren't able to make it, there was a lot of trouble because somebody had to only 3 or 4 streamers available. Somebody had to jump in at the last second to try and cover for them. Scheduling was a nightmare when you had to do makeups. But now, ever since Person Man and Enoch have taken over, we've expanded the amount of streamers we have. We also have several other teams as well. The stats team, the audit team, the graphics team. A lot of people being employed by the sim team now that weren't before. So I'm really happy with the work that Enoch and Person Man have both. Enoch is the job head now, but Person Man's legacy over the past several seasons has really built up the sim team to where it is now, and I really am glad that I look at the amount of streams that are signed up for each season, and there's a good 8 or 9 different people throughout the whole season that sign up. So a lot more chances for you to see other streamers, a lot of new faces and voices that you haven't heard before. So it's really exciting, especially with this new co-host system that we signed up for. A lot of new co-hosts that we're going to have on the stream this season that have never streamed before. So it's going to be very exciting to see you know how that goes, and be able to listen to these new players, be able to call matches.
Yeah, I think people are getting sick of us. I think that's why they expanded the co-hosts. I'm kidding. No, but it was interesting doing the commish podcast. LBG, you told me you watched with a family member, and they said I looked. Yeah, Jess is here and is going to be one of the co-hosts. Oh, maybe spoiled that. Just hopefully I didn't spoil.
Uh-oh.
But I was part of that. You know, I'm the sim team oversight for HO. That was one thing. Like, we have 9 of us now, but I wanted to make sure that I still had a hand on the sim team. I think it's because just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I feel that's been really fun for me. So
Right.
kind of a seniority, being able to keep a role that I like. But it was interesting talking to the SHL commish, who told us that they only really have one simmer, which is kind of wild. And you know, I think I'm gonna talk to Nora to help them make sure that they're ready to go when they get a team. But yeah, that was interesting to hear. Oh, they're getting a team. Okay, cool. So
Nice.
I should message Nora about that then, and maybe like offer help if he needs it. But yeah, good for them for building out the team.
Absolutely. And Index is now updated, so if you wanted to raid somebody, we're welcome to do it now. Again, everybody, I'm Legally Blind Gamer with my co-host Hummus God. Thank you very much for joining us. Our next stream is going to be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We hope to see you there for Day 3 of Week 1, Season 26, PvE action. And so we're going to go ahead and sign off for tonight, and thank you very much again for joining us. And we're going to be raiding FKN Commissioner. So thank everybody again for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody have fun. Let's jump in, see if we can get FKN to say hi to us. James LeBlanc is his player in the sim, if you were unaware.
And I'm going to turn up the volume, get us a reaction here. Luckily, I have alternate Twitch players, so no super loud advertisement playing.
In the house! You guys are coming in at the right time. Hello, my friends in the PvE Sim universe. Hummus is here. Kirk Swerve is making his first time presence. Hey!
Jazz
Hey!
to everyone.